If you remember when he was with Wolves at the Championship and he got them promoted, they were able to be solid. They were even able to challenge for Europe a bit. And I think that's the thing that West Ham fans, at least, they are used to it now. They won a European trophy. They'd probably like to at least be competing to get into the Conference League again, maybe try and see if they can get into the Europa League. But at least for this season, I think their priority is just getting out to the relegation zone. And at least getting back-to-back wins in the Premier League. That's a start for them.
Okay. Guys, let's talk about Malik Diop. Yeah, let me start with you. AFCON winner with Senegal. What do you think would be running through his mind coming back to club football and knowing that his team is not in a good space, his team is not occupying a good position? What do you think as a player individually would be running through his mind, and also be looking at that he has to up his performances and help his team maintain Premier League status?
Well, he's a young lad. He's 21, heading to 22.
Yeah.
And for him to be able to get this level of success with Senegal, winning the AFCON, I think it builds his confidence, and the fact that he's been able to get top level experience at that level, it will definitely help in his development, because he's not a finished product. Far from it. I mean, we've seen.
You think there's still a lot of work to be done?
Yeah, we've seen it in his time at West Ham. He got signed from Slavia Prague over to West Ham before the season started, and we saw him at the AFCON and how he performed. Very good player, talented player.
Did he pass the eye test for you, just like you always say?
Oh yeah, he passed the eye test.
I mean, the few days you saw him.
Oh yeah, he passed the eye test.
I'm asking because I saw a few tweets from the Western folks, and some were saying that he looked a bit inexperienced with the way he plays, especially with the defending.
Yeah.
I think going forward he's decent.
Yeah, defending. Yeah, he's a bit suspect. He does get caught off guard, and that is quite a very difficult skill to do, because you see fullbacks consistently concede goals in that same manner. So for instance, the ball is floated in or crossed in from the opposite side, or whipped in from the opposite side. Then you think you've defended the ball very well, because you are focusing on the ball and tracking what the man who is in front of you.
Yeah.
But the next thing you know, a player from the opposing side goes in from behind, and then by the time you spot him or his run, it's too late for you to react.
Yep.
And so by the time you want to react, he's very close to goal and he taps the ball into the net. We've seen it happen several times. Luke Shaw has conceded a handful of goals in such circumstance, but including the Europa League final. It has happened. And it's very, like I said, very, very few fullbacks who are able to master that craft and consistently be able to defend in those situations. So that's one area that he needs to develop. And like I said, sometimes he gets a bit he gets caught ball watching, and so he switches up mentally. Then the next thing you know, a winger or a fullback is in behind him, and he's able to dink in across. And on top of that, I think honestly, you see, mastering the timing of your overlaps.
Okay.
Yeah, that is also key.
Yeah. And
sometimes I think he overdoes it, and he's too wild with it. Once he sees ball, oh yeah, he's going. But sometimes you need to be measured in the way you attack those kind of situations. And I think even going forward, which is his strength, he needs to be able to, I wouldn't say cherry pick, but he needs to be able to see the moment where, okay, I have to dink in across. Okay, I need to check the ball back. Okay, I need to recycle this possession.
And even when to attack the space.
Yes, and when to attack. So maybe I see just one teammate in there. Okay, that is not good enough. I see him surrounded by 3 players. Instead of just dinking the ball in for dinking's sake, I'll just hold on to the ball, then allow my team a little bit of a breather, and also to ensure that my teammates are able to move upfield and then relieve the stress or the pressure on my team, but at the same time be able to amplify or maximize our chances of being able to get a goal or create a very decent chance from this possession. So in that sense, you won't dink in the cross, you will check the ball back and restart, or no, not restart, but recycle the possession.
Yeah.
He needs to be able to find a proper balance on how to do those things, and that's where I believe he needs a bit of polishing. Like I said, he's far from a finished product, but if you've shown these positive signs that he's shown so far at the age of 21 going on to 22, yeah, then the future is bright.
It's bright for him.
And yeah, for West Ham, they need to compete very well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they will lose him earlier than.
I was just about asking that. Do you see him as that project that will stay for longer?
Oh no, of course not. Because at the end of the day, West Ham can't afford his wages.
Okay.
Like let's say he becomes one of the best fullbacks in the world.
So he balls for like 2 seasons.
At some point he will want to leave, and he inevitably he will leave. That is a foregone conclusion. But it's the length of his stay at West Ham that will be monitored. Okay. So for instance, Kudus did so well first season. Second season it was solid, but it was not as brilliant as his first season. In the end, after just 2 seasons, he moved.
Yeah,
you get it. Malik Diouf, if he keeps on progressing or improving, maximum 3 years he will leave. Maximum 3 years he will leave. Whether it comes with trophies or it doesn't come with trophies, yes, he will leave. But if he improves markedly and West Ham, their performances don't improve in the same breath, then it could be like Kudus. After 2 seasons he will leave.
And
after the second season,
because I'm thinking the AFCON 2 will do him some good. Because
yes.
What he did at the AFCON,
I mean, he has placed him in the spotlight.
Yeah, and most also if West Ham get relegated this season, I definitely think he's one of the players that most of the other Premier League clubs will try and sign.
Yeah. True.
So the game has ended at the London Stadium. Is West Ham United 3, Sunderland 1.
Yeah, I mean, if you are like, let's say, yes, he plays for West Ham.
Yeah.
But if you are Tottenham Hotspur,
you'll be looking at
him because at the end of the day, look, you are employing or you are deploying a right-footed winger as your left fullback in the Spurs, and your regular left fullback, that's Destiny Udogie. He's caught the injury bug. He has been missing games consistently because of injuries, and now you can't count on Ben Davies as your backup left fullback because he has lost a lot of speed, and so he now operates as a center back. You get it? So in that space they are quite light. So if let's say West Ham get relegated and you are Tottenham Hotspurs, you think
they'll be looking at or even some of the
you should be looking at a guy like Malik Diouf, because at the end of the day, if you have him and Destiny Udogie, that's a great.
Who's Newcastle's left back? Lewis Hall,
yes.
Decent.
He's very good, and he's on the. I mean, he's on the English radar because
they'll do everything.
Because at this point in time, I look at that English national team.
You think he walks in?
He's the best left fullback at this point in time. Nico O'Reilly, he's doing his best, but he's not. That's not his position. I mean, come on, let's be real. That's not his position. The Spence has also been played there, but we all know the Spence's position is not in that position, and it has come with its limitations, especially for Spence when they play Spence in that position. So at some point, Thomas Tuchel, he being quite pragmatic. I mean, he has his philosophies and all, but he isn't hesitant to get pragmatic. He will be looking at that position and might possibly want to tinker it a little bit, particularly with his personnel selection. I wouldn't be surprised if the Spurs gets dropped and a guy like Lewis Hall gets
to the World Cup.
And but I wouldn't be surprised that he would want to keep a guy like Dan Ben. He wants to call a guy like Dan Ben and play him as the left fullback, but not necessarily as an orthodox left fullback, but as part of a 3-man back line, because he will start off with 4 men at the back. But you know that the English right fullbacks, they are all heavily attack minded. So Reece James, Trent Alexander-Arnold, once they move outfield, then Dan Ben can slide in a little bit centrally. Then the lack of speed on his part wouldn't be too exposed. Then you can play, let's say, with a back three, and that will definitely make sense. So these are the things that I'm pretty sure could happen. And I mean, it also helps that Reece James these days has played extensive minutes. As one of the two double members of the double pivots in Chelsea's system. So it means that what England tried to do some years back under Gareth Southgate with Trent Alexander-Arnold moving into midfield and playing as a more or less like a midfielder, came with its own issues. This time around, should Reece James's injury situation not pop up, once they get to the World Cup, it's very possible that England could use that system without having any challenges as they used to have a couple of years back.
Right, so West Ham picking up big 3 points at the London Stadium. They beat Sunderland by 3-1. Someone says he wouldn't want to see the London Stadium host a championship game next season. So he's hoping West Ham survive relegation. Let's talk about
Wolves are already gone.
After Wolves, they are gone. I think it will take sorcery and magic to, because the points they are. But in fact, we'll talk about them pretty soon. I think they've even turned the corner slightly. They've been picking up some decent results. They are taking up City today. But Kwachi, just quick thoughts on Bowen. So the stat says that he's now scored and assisted 11 different Premier League games for the Hammers. He's the most of any West Ham player, overtaking Paolo Di Canio, who did 10. Everybody's talking about him because I think he's now one of the experienced players in the West Ham fold. One of the players that every transfer window he's on the radar of a lot of these top teams, but he ends up playing for West Ham United. Do you think that this season will be that time for him? That's if West Ham play in a championship to leave and target maybe the top 6, Newcastle, Spurs, Chelsea.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely. I think he has the quality to definitely play for one of the top 6 teams. He's actually been quite, I'd say, loyal, because he's part of the team that won the Conference League. But Declan Rice left immediately the season after to Arsenal for 100 million. Fornals has gone around, but he stayed at West Ham. And if you look at his numbers, I think he's probably one of, if no, I think he should be probably on the top 3 West Ham's all-time Premier League top scorers. And to be still gets called up to the national team consistently, even though he's playing for West Ham. And I think he's given a lot to the club. And the fact that he's actually won them
the captain,
trophy,
right?
Yeah, he's the captain now. And the fact that he's actually he took the captain's armband from Rice. So Rice took it from Mark Noble when Noble retired. But to be the captain, obviously that's probably a huge responsibility, and he probably loves the town. But he came from Hull City, so I don't think he's a West Ham. It's like, as in, he's not West Ham from
West
Ham.
From the boyhood, the club, the academy, or whatever.
So as much as he's given to the club, if they were to get relegated, and to be honest, even if they weren't relegated, I think that he should probably be looking at trying to get a move. The problem is he's English, and that probably means that West Ham would probably want to charge a large amount for someone to come and buy him, which limits his options to teams that are in the Premier League. Because I don't think a lot of other European clubs can afford to come and give West Ham the sort of money they would expect if they wanted to buy Bowen. So it just means that maybe Spurs is a good option. I don't know if that's necessarily a step up if you look at the way Spurs are performing right now. I don't know how many other teams he would be able to directly get a starting position, which I think is key, because he's at a point in his career where obviously maybe like Semenyo, he could go to Man City and fight for his position. But he's not in the same way Saka is on a bad run of form now, but it's almost like his position within the World Cup squad is guaranteed. I don't think Bowen is at the level where he can afford to take the risk and go and risk not having playing time. For England in terms of getting the selection. So if they were to go down, I think that he would definitely be the first name on this that other teams would be looking to buy. The only problem, like I said, I think West Ham would probably charge a high fee for him, and it only depends on whether the other clubs feel like he's worth that value.
Okay.
I don't think West Ham are in a position to charge a high price for Jarrod Bowen. I mean, he's 29 years old, and
so the age factor.
The age factor, and on top of that, you look at West Ham's form. and performance in recent years, you are always finishing in the bottom half of the league standings. So that generally weakens your leverage and your position to be able to demand for a high fee. And like I said, the guy is 29 years old, moving on to 30. So your position is a bit weak, considering the fact that yes, you can't demand for huge wages, knowing very well that there's no resale value in the player, and on top of that, it's very likely that the player's peak years will be coming to an end. And it's not like a situation where, let's say, Bayern Munich coming in for Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Knowing very well that Harry Kane, his production was elite, and he's a striker. So if you pay that kind of money to get Harry Kane at age 29, it's not, the level of risk is quite low. But for Jared Bowen, the position that he plays, he's not elite in that position, and on top of that, he's someone that will rely on a lot on his industry, and someone who is aging. How long can you rely on his industry to be able to keep up with the kind of money that you shell out to get him? So yeah, if he's going to move, I don't think it will be too much tasking on the buying club.
Okay.
Because ideally you wouldn't pay as much as you normally would for an England international, and on top of that, you can always use the argument that, look, he's getting close to the end, and West Ham isn't improving any or getting any better.
Yeah.
So why don't we just come to a middle ground somewhere, maybe 30 million, 20 million, and let's get a deal done. So I don't see Jared Bowen possibly moving for a high fee. I think it will just be a competitive price.
Okay.
Yeah. So just quick one. I was looking it up, and he's actually he's second on their top 10 Premier League goal scorers list.
Second.
Yeah, behind Mikel Antonio. So Antonio has 68 and he has 62.
So
he's not that far away from
6 more.
Yeah, and he's not that far away from breaking it. Also in 2023, I remember I think that's the season after they won the Conference League of that season.
Yeah.
He signed a 7-year contract, keeping him at the club to 2030. And as much as obviously he's getting old, he's only worth as much as West Ham think he's worth to them. So if they don't really want to sell him until his contract is up, they can charge as much as they feel they need, and he's still producing for them. So obviously if they're relegated, that's a different question. But if they're able to stay in the Premier League, I think they'd probably charge as high as they want.
Okay. So that's the word on Jared Bowen, one of the informed players for West Ham United. Let's take you to the Etihad because it's a home game against bottom of the table Wolves, and that may appear to be the perfect fixture for Manchester City to end their recent Premier League slump. In all competitions, so they lost to United and also lost to Bodo Glimt. Let me just run you through the starting 11 for City's game against Wolves. Let me start off with Wolves, who are the visitors. Jose Sarr has imposed a backfield of Mosquera, Bueno and Cressy. They're playing Bueno again, who is playing in the midfield 4 with Andre Gomez and Chachua. And then we've got Matheus Mane, Arias and Wan Lee Chan. For Manchester City, it's a 4-1-4-1. Gianluigi Donnarumma is imposed. Matthias Nunes, Kuchanov, Maguire started his first game for City, and Nico O'Reilly. Rodri as the sole DM today for City. Antoine Semenyo, Tignani Reinders, Bernardo Silva, Ryan Cherki, and then Omar Mamouche. Haaland is out. He is yes, he's on the bench for Manchester City. I apologize after that game they lost to Bodo Glimt in Norway. When you look at the lineup, I see Semenyo who's been deployed on the right side. I don't know if it's looking like this on paper, but I don't know on the pitch it will see Sheki rather come to the right, and then Semenyo would go to the left, because I'm thinking that if Doku is not starting today, and based on Semenyo's heat map at Bournemouth, I was thinking that Pep would play him on the left, then Sheki on the right.
Yeah, but he's gone with Mamouche to the middle.
Yeah, but he's gone with the other side of it. What do you think would be, or what do you think is running through Pep's mind to go with this?
Maybe bringing a little bit of past magic. If you remember the season before they got Haaland, he had to play for a while with this what people were calling a false nine, but it was just him having to play without a striker. And they haven't really had the results in the Premier League. When they played in the FA Cup and the EFL Cup against Newcastle, they were able to get some wins. But in the Premier League itself, they haven't been they haven't been as consistent, and it's a shame, because it's sort of giving up the title charge. While it seemed like they and Aston Villa were right behind Arsenal, and they were going to be able to catch them, but now it looks like Arsenal have been able to take a 7-point lead. Hearing Guardiola speak during the week, he doesn't think that the lead is insurmountable. It's been pointed out that they've come back from, bigger margins before, but he was also heaping a lot of praise on Arsenal, saying that they are the best team in the world, which and
he's just up to one of those mind games of his.
If
they win today, they have 56 points. It's just 4 points between Arsenal and City. Just hold on for me. Let's take a listen to West Ham's Jared Bowen. One of the goal scorers for West Ham today. They beat Sunderland by 3-1.
For me a little bit, but it went in, so I don't really care.
Was your heart in your mouth at that minute, or just,
Nah, not really. It's just penalties are, a lottery. The keeper's there to save them. I'm there to, try and score them. I picked my side, know what side I was going to go. Didn't change my mind and just, put my foot through it. Slipped a little bit, but thankfully it went in.
And now no one in Premier League history has more goals and assists combined for this club than you do. What does that milestone mean to you?
Milestones were, always great. But I think for me, ever since I've been here, I've just wanted to play my game, score goals, score assists as an attacker. I think that's what I'm here to do, and I try and do that to help the team. I think in the situation that we're in, I don't think individual records are as much to speak about, because for me the most important thing is the team and helping getting out of the situation that we're in. That's all I really care about. Obviously goals and assists will help towards that, but a milestone that probably when you retire you'll sit down and look at the milestones, but for me it's just another game, and now we're already thinking of the next one. We got another London derby.
Well, before that, let me ask you about the other 2 goals. First of all, did you know Crescencio had a Michael Jordan impression in him? He hung in the air for ages.
No, not really. And again, me and Cree speak a lot in terms of when the ball's on the opposite. If Cree's got the ball, I say to him, I'm always going to be in the box. So when you cross it in, get in the back post for goals. Because I think you can add a lot of goals to your game with that. And I said the same to him. When I've got the ball, I'll try and beat my fullback. I'm confident I can beat the fullback. And on my right foot, my weaker side is always try and hang it up and leave it in an area that you trust that the runs are going to come in there. And Cree made us run brilliantly, and leapt really well and headed the ball like proper centre forward. So for him to score, I think he's got 2 and 2 definitely in the Premier League. I think in the Cup as well. I think he had one against Forest ruled out. So he's been disappointing because his injury kept him out for a long time, but the way that he's worked individually with rehab and the work that he does at the training ground, it's for him to have his moments now is really good for him, because it'll be really good for his confidence, and he deserves all the credit he's going to get.
And how about Mateus Fernandes? He needs to shoot more, doesn't he?
Well, me and Craig actually said to him in the warm-up, because we do a bit of shooting in the warm-up, and the way he strikes the ball is one of the best I've seen, and the goal was brilliant, and then the one at the end would have been even better again, but he's adding goals to his game as well, and I think that's what you need in this situation. You need everyone chipping away with goals, everyone scoring and helping the team, because it's going to give us every chance of getting out of the situation to win games.
Alright, so that's West Ham's Jared Bowen speaking after his side to beat Sunderland by 3-1. Let me take some comments on YouTube. This is from Joshua Alabi C8E. He says Barcelona played in -6 weather condition in Prague though. Okay, this because I mentioned that City played under -9 to when they lost to Bodo Glimt. Okay. He goes on to say that, am I the only one who does not want to see the London Stadium host a championship game next season? ZBWK says Wolves will pick up a point today against City. Patrick Lawate T3X says, I like Pep's squad today. Today we'll surely see a big change. Okay. Sweet Kwame 357 says 4-1-4-1 is a bad formation. I think that's Pep's formation. He says Roddy just came back from an ACL and he's playing a lone DM. City is terrible and this current squad are not hungry enough. Joshua Labi C8E says Wolves are all over the place, but I don't think any of the traditional top 6 teams have had a smooth ride with them yet. Okay, you can also send your thoughts on the WhatsApp line 0549969960 0549969996. Ano Okata Joshua says, Gabby, what was Boeing saying? I can't hear anything. Wasn't there clarity to Boeing's voice? Yeah, didn't you hear what Boeing said?
No, I think sometimes during the transmission, when they take it live and it goes to the interviews, sometimes the radio people or the online people.
Oh, okay. I see. Anyway, so we are building up to City's game against Wolves, and then there's some other games coming up as part of the 3 p.m. batch of matches. Burnley will take on Tottenham Hotspurs, and then there is let me see Bournemouth up against Liverpool at 5:30, City up against Wolves at 3 p.m. Then Fulham will take on Brighton. Just quick thoughts on Pep's formation today against Wolves.
I mean, it's a selection that I expected, and very attack-minded kind of selection. Last week he used a similar lineup against Manchester United, and I criticized it as being arrogant, that you don't play Rodri as the sole pivot and have Bernardo Silva and Phil Foden playing alongside him in midfield, because in that sense you don't have enough mobility in the middle of the pitch, and they got punished. But in this game, he's tweaked it a little bit. He's brought in Tijani Reinders as a starter. That's what I expected of him against United last week. But now he's made the changes, and last week against Man United, Antoine Semenyo played on the right side, and he didn't look too comfortable. And now
I think in the PL he's always played him on the right side. The only game he played him on the left was against Exeter.
Yes.
City, yeah.
And the Exeter game, he looked very, very comfortable playing on the left side. In Ghana, most of the time he plays on the left side, and so I think with this game he's been moved over to the left side, and it's Ryan Cherki who's playing on the right side. So I think yes, Pep has made the right decisions, the right personnel choices, and yeah, it's great to also see Maguire also starting. They signed him recently from Crystal Palace.
Charlie Pep has lost all his experience centre back. So
I mean they are injured.
Ruben Dias, Josko Vardiol, John Stones. What's John Stones' is this injury? ACL.
For him is every time is muscle related, ligament related.
That he's playing football.
Injuries, and now he's aged. He's not a young guy anymore. Yeah, he's aged, and so what that means is it makes things a little bit tougher. So I'm not too surprised that they went in there to get Maguire, because they've been dealing with a lot of injuries to their centre backs way too many times in recent years. Even Nathan Ake, I think against Man United.
Yeah, he also played up his slides. Yeah,
he had a huge bandage strapped close to his knee, and it just tells you that yes, indeed, even he is not 100% fit, and so in that sense, you need a little bit of reinforcement, and it doesn't get any better than bringing in Maguire. And I love the fact that they've been able to get him and pair him with Kushanov. And so, yeah, I look at the picks that he's made, rotating the squad a little bit, bringing in Maguire. Phil Foden is not playing. It's Sheki who is starting. Haaland is not playing. It's Marmoush who is starting. So, yeah, it tells you the kind of depth that Man City have. And what's the point in having all these quality players if you can't rotate your squad and freshen them once in a while? And when you're playing against Wolves, yeah, this is pretty much the best time to be able to make those rotation and give your players a little bit of rest.
Are we underrating Wolves here?
Refreshing the squad a little bit because things have become a little bit stale. And so, yeah, if you are going to make changes, yeah, timing is key. Okay. And so if you are going to make changes and you are Man City and you make those changes against Wolverhampton Wanderers, yeah, it's the right time to do so. Okay. And so, yeah, I like it.
That's the thing that's surprising to me. The fact that he's using the game against Wolves to make changes. Because in the Premier League, they haven't won any of their last 4. I get the Haaland substitution. Haaland only has like 1 goal in his last 8 matches. He hasn't been in good form. Yeah. The fact that it's also coinciding with the point where City are also not in good form is surprising, because earlier in the season it was pointed out how dependent they had been on Erling Haaland scoring, or Erling Haaland being the one at the end of chances for them. Him going back to a more fluid front three line. That's why I think there'll be a benefit. I think the 3 of them, Mahmoud, Shirky, Semenyo, they can interchange and play in different positions, and hopefully that can help them. And if anything, maybe Haaland is a little more refreshed and can come off the bench and score for them. But the problem is it's against Wolves. Even if they were able to win 10-1, obviously Wolves are in better form now. They're probably in better form than Man City, because Man City have 3 draws and a defeat, but I think Wolves have 3 draws, but they have a win in there. Yeah, their win against West Ham United. So if you look at the game, even if they were able to win, Man City were able to win even 10-0, like the way they did against Exeter City, I don't think there'll be a lot that you'll be able to read into the game. It's when they come up against other teams that are probably going to sit maybe deep. Obviously, Wolves sit deep, but then other teams that have more to offer when they're on the counter attack. More teams that can counter back when City lose the ball in transition. That's where maybe that would be a better signing to be able to know whether this how they call it, alternating between using a striker, or even if this midfield partnership with Rodri and Reinders will work.
And if just a quick one, you look at not this past week, in midweek they played against Bodo Glimt and they lost by 3-1, surprisingly. And look at the goals that they conceded. They conceded 2 goals in 3 minutes. The first 2 goals they conceded it 3 minutes apart, and the second goal, it was a big blunder on the part of I believe Max Allen. And yeah, he's young. You know, these kind of mistakes will pop up. That's the academy boy. Yeah, the academy boy. And even in the lead up to the first goal, it was pretty much the same thing. Yeah, the third goal was just an outstanding finish, an outstanding goal scored by the Norwegians. And so that kind of goal, you can't do anything about it. But the first 2 goals, yeah, it proved problematic, and that's what pretty much set the course and set the tone for that particular game. You look at the way they considered those 2 goals, it was poor. The first goal split wide open, just like the Man United game. Yeah,
because he's going with 2 and
off a counter attack.
The entire back 4 was inexperienced.
Yes, off a counter attack, fast break, just running through the middle, and boom, they get a goal in there. Then the second goal, long ball, Max Allen failed to deal with that ball, and the next thing you know, Bodo Glimt capitalized, and they score from that particular possession. And so now I think Pep in that situation would have wanted, ideally, not to play with too many youngsters at the back, but he was a little bit limited in the choices that he could make. I mean, a lot of people would say, oh, but you shouldn't feel pity or you shouldn't feel sorry for him, because at the end of the day, even the academy boys, they are some of the most highly rated youngsters in England or English football. And so even if you are playing those youngsters, you still have a great chance of winning those games, particularly when it is Bodo Glimt. Yeah. Though they have a very impressive record at home, because of the cold weather, the astroturf, all of those things, the artificial turf and all that, they have an advantage at home. But again, the quality that Man City have, they shouldn't have lost that game, but they lost that game, and it was down to the same issues that has been recurring over the past season and a half. The fact that they lose balls in transition, they cannot keep up with the counter attack, and on top of that, injuries to their centre backs have meant that they are chopping and changing and bringing in either wrong pairings, or they are bringing in players that are just not ready yet to be competing at that top level, and they make mistakes, and once there isn't enough cover, those mistakes get punished.
Let's do a quick goal rush. Let me take you all the way to Germany. Bayern Munich have taken the lead against Augsburg. Is Hiroki Ito, a Japanese, who scored for Bayern Munich. Elsewhere in the Italian Serie A, Como 2, Torino 0 halftime in that game. Later at 5 p.m, Fiorentina will take on Cagliari, and then at 7:45 p.m, there's Lecce up against Lazio. Wolfsburg have also taken the lead against Mainz. 26 minutes played across all league centers in Germany. So that's what it's looking like. Heidenheim are playing RB Leipzig. Frankfurt are taking on Hoffenheim. Bayern Munich are taking on Uzbek. Bayer Leverkusen are also taking on Werder Bremen. In the EPL, just a few minutes to kick off, 5 minutes, and then City's game against Wolves will start, same as Burnley, Spurs, Fulham, Brighton, and then so the 3 games kicking off at 3 p.m. Then later at 5:30 there is Bournemouth taking on Liverpool. Kwache, quick thoughts on Brighton. I don't even know what phase they are in now under Fabian Hezela. Very, very inconsistent team.
I say the problem with Brighton is that they constantly keep changing players and manager, and they sort of expect to have the same results every season, despite the fact that they are always selling their best players either mostly to Chelsea, but other teams come in, but it's a constantly evolving project. Since Hezler came in, I don't think he's had the same impact that Roberto De Zerbi had when he was at the club. When De Zerbi was there, and I think the irony is De Zerbi had the same problem that Maresca had at Chelsea. I mean, not the same problem, but a similar problem to what Maresca had at Chelsea, and what Amorim's case is a little different. He wasn't winning games, so he can't really. I don't think there's as much justification to ask for more resources, but it's just about having more control and about the club having more ambition. And I think that definitely is the next step for Brighton, because I made this point that if you look at most of the top clubs, if you can think about teams that probably overachieved within the last 2-3 years, so maybe you think about the Malaga team that got to the quarterfinals of the Champions League 2014, maybe the Ajax team under Eric Ten Hag, even that Monaco side with Kylian Mbappe. There's about 2-3 years max where with these young players you are able to achieve and build something. Obviously, most of the players will move on, because for the sort of quality that they have, they probably want to be playing at a higher level. But if you're able to keep these players together for 2-3 seasons, have them all together, it could be very helpful. But then if you sell Caicedo and then you get Baleba, and then as soon as you get Baleba and an offer is coming in, you're willing to sell him for to the first person who's willing to offer money for him. Obviously, it means that maybe the club as itself can grow, but the team itself on the pitch will be hard for them. They are always having to meet new players and gel and find consistency. And I think that's just what Fabian Hezler is struggling with this season.
All right, for the lineups for the two teams coming up or facing each other, Fulham taking on Brighton. Verbruggen for Brighton is in post. They have Boss Cagley, Luis Dunk, Van Herken, Kadioglu as the back four. Midfield two of Carlos Baleba, Pascal Gross, Gomas, Ayari, Karim Mitoma, and Danny Welbeck leading the attack for Brighton. On the part of Fulham, Raul Jimenez is leading the attack. Kevin Smith-Rowe and Harry Wilson. Alex Iwobi back into the starting 11 after winning bronze with Nigeria, the AFCON. Sander Berg is starting there. Timothy Castagne, Anderson, Cuenca, Robinson, and then Bedleno for Fulham. They will start at 3 p.m. Let me bring you update from the Spurs Burnley lineup, and then we'll talk about Thomas Frank, who is also under pressure in the EPL, struggled to get some good results in the recent games that they've played. Huge pressure on him. For Burnley, it's a 3-4-2-1 formation. Dubravka is their goalkeeper. Axel Tuanzebe, Esteve, and then Humphreys as a back three. Kyle Walker, Ugochukwu, Leslie, Florentino, and then Lucas Pires as the midfield four. Anthony Edwards and Amanda Broha leading the attack for Burnley, who are playing at the Turf Moor. For Spurs, matching Burnley same formation, 3-4-2-1. Vicario, Kevin Danso, Christian Romero, Van de Ven as the back three. Jet Spence, Conor Gallagher, he's starting his first game, I believe. Yves Bissouma, he didn't play in the Champions League, right? No, he didn't. Pedro Porro, Xavi Simons, Odobert, and Dominic Solanke. Kwaji, are you shocked that Conor Gallagher is with Spurs?
I know he has. I think he's made an appearance. I don't know whether he started the game. So
let me check and see. Now, because the Champions League they beat Dortmund, right? 2-0. Yeah. He didn't start.
Was he not in by last weekend?
Yeah, he was. They did that translate.
No, but the thing is, he played at Atletico Madrid
in
the Champions League. So
inactive. He can't
feature. So the group stage has to be concluded before he can feature. It's the same with Antoine Semenyo. Okay. He didn't play in the Man City game against Bodo Glimt.
Yeah.
Because he was ineligible. And the group stage will have to be played or concluded before he can be eligible.
Yeah, so he played against
he started last week against
West Ham. Yeah, he played 90 minutes actually in that game. Quite just thoughts on Thomas Frank and anything Spurs, Conor Gallagher, and the whole thing Spurs are through.
I mean, I'm personally surprised he's still in the job, and it's not even a slight on him. It's just he reached the point.
You're surprised he's still coaching the team? Do you say that?
Yeah, I mean, I would blame the reason why he's still in charge now to the lack of structure around Spurs now. Mm-hmm. When they got rid of Daniel. I mean, so they spent the whole summer with Daniel Levy, and when they got into when the season started, they got rid of him. They have a different structure now, and I think there's just a lot of how do you call it, uncertainty right now within the structure.
Spurs are winless in 13 league games.
Yeah,
right. 13 league games winless. That's a bad record.
They won against Crystal Palace in December. I think they are.
That's the only win they had in a long while.
Yeah, in a very long while.
Yeah.
And I mean, Spurs. The thing is, if you look at what they achieved last season, they are pretty much on par with what they are trying to achieve. Doing really well in Europe, struggling a bit in the Premier League, and that is unfortunately that's what got Ange Postecoglou sacked. And I don't know if Thomas Frank has another level to this. The problem is, it feels like they
probably will suffer the same fate too.
Yeah, and it feels like everyone's already made up their mind about him. If that makes sense, like you can hear the frustration sometimes when you're watching Spurs games at home in the Premier League, and it's very difficult for a manager to, unless you are going to start going on a 10 15 game winning run. It's very difficult to change perceptions, and that, like I keep pointing out, this team is the shadow of the team that they had, and they constantly keep losing their best attacking output. So they lost Harry Kane in recent season. They've lost Harry Kane, Son. They sold Brennan Johnson, who was their top scorer from last season. There's not a lot of goals in this team. Solanke came back. He was able to get a goal midweek against Dortmund, but he himself, I'm not certain if he's of that quality that he can be bringing 20-25 goals a season, which is surprising because they spent a lot of money on him getting him from Bournemouth. I would say it was a little rush, and obviously, like I keep pointing out, there was an English tax, because I don't understand how, of all the strikers in the Premier League, they had 60 million and they spent it on Solanke. Maybe he'll come good for them. That's surprising. The other striking option that they have, Kolomani, hasn't been good at all for them. And as a team that's trying to compete in both the Champions League and the Premier League, at least for now, that's not that's not a good run for them. But looking at Tottenham this season, I think the Champions League qualification is already gone for them, which is a shame to say, but I don't think they'll be able to qualify directly through through the league phase. I think they are a bit too far off, and I don't see them winning the Champions League.
Yeah, they're in the third half, right, on the table.
Yeah, I think they're 14th.
No, I'm talking about the standings for
in the Champions League. In the Champions League, they're in the top 8. Whether they can maintain that position, because it's actually quite tight. So with a couple of games to go, if you are not able to maintain that form into the last 2 games, would it really matter? And then you go into the playoff, and then now it doesn't really matter how well you did in the initial phase. It's just about getting through to the next round.
Champions League, they are fit.
They are fit, eh?
Yeah, they are fit. They are doing quite well in the Champions League, and I think it's a hallmark of some coaches. So, for instance, Eddie Howe.
Yeah,
you look at, he's not the most consistent when it comes to the league.
The league, yeah.
One moment he qualifies to the Champions League, the following season it's a bit of a wobbler. The next moment he qualifies to the Champions League. Now Newcastle dancing in between good and not so good. Very brilliant at home, not so good away from home. But when it comes to the Champions League, they are in brilliant form. When it comes to the league, very inconsistent.
Place, yeah.
And it's because it looks like, you look at the form index or the performance index, it just shows you where they have their strength in. If it's something like a one-off game or knockout phase, there's a bit of urgency about them. When they play in front of goal, when they play in front of their home fans at St. James's Park, there's a bit of urgency about them. But when they go away from home, it slips. That urgency slips. When they are playing in the league, I don't know, maybe because the league, they know that there are multiple games left. So there's that agency
they
that
can
slips.
afford to slip some of them.
But when it's the knockout competition, I mean, they won the Carabao Cup under Eddie Howe for the first time in God knows how long. First domestic trophy was 70 years.
Yeah.
Now they are in the Carabao Cup semi-finals. They are back in the Carabao Cup semi-finals. They could potentially go ahead, go to the final and defend it. Champions League knockout kind of competition. They are doing very well, and they are on the brink of qualifying to the next stage. And so, in that sense, that shows you how things operate. And the same thing with Tottenham Hotspurs.
Okay, there is a goal at the Etihad Stadium. Is Mamouche, right?
Yeah, Mamouche.
Omar Mamouche.
I think Wolves are appealing.
The first goal
for a high boot,
a high boot. Yeah, I thought same.
But I think the ball was low enough that where he raised his leg is.
Who whipped in the cross? Was he?
Nunes. Nunes is playing incredibly at right back.
Against his former team.
I'm fine. I didn't like the transition from midfield to right back for him, but it seems like this season he's been able to find his range from there and put. He has really to accept it
because Pep tried him a few times at midfield. He didn't work out. Yeah. He was all over the place. That was a good cross. No, I don't think there was a foul on the player.
I mean, he's still down, the Wolves player. So
that's just make it up.
Yeah, that's Mosquera.
Yeah, not Mosquera, the Arsenal player.
Yeah, not the Arsenal player. There's another Mosquera who plays for Wolves.
If you look at I think the ball go down to a level where
it's a goal. It's a goal. Yeah, it's a legend goal.
He just had to attack because the trajectory of the ball. That's the best he can actually do it.
Yeah, I think Mosquera
go with head. It would be. Head clashing.
I think Mosquera would have had a better option, maybe trying to shield Mamouche off the ball rather than going with his head to try and get the ball.
Okay, all right. Let's take our very first break. So City have taken a lead against Wolves. Omar Mamouche bringing the performance we saw with he did for Egypt at the AFCON to club side. So we're taking our first break. When we come back, there's more talk right here on the Republic of Football 97.3. I'm Gabriel. We'll be back after this.
Sits with the bold and outspoken Dr. Stephen Amwa, MP for Inshayeso.
But Honorable, how do you deal with controversies? Because every now and then, sticker is, permit me, impotent, because even on a campaign trail, we brought him one of the loyal ladies, but he couldn't do anything with the person.
Whether I'm impotent or not impotent, it doesn't mean anything.
But are you?
Of course not.
Okay.
God loves me.
If it doesn't go the Kennedy way, who among the 5 would you want to see become the flag bearer?
Anybody that can let me know that will give MPP the highest chance of winning 2020.
Feel the rhythm as Carlo Yaboy delivers a soul-stirring performance.
I feel like you don't see I try, but I don't know what to do. Anytime you call me, I know I slide. I keep spending my life on you. You say get too much about my pride. You don't know how for what I do. You say get too much about mine.
And watch creativity come alive with Audrey Bruce Vanderpoy.
I don't know be there. No.
Don't miss the Upside Down Show this Sunday at 7 p.m. prompt only on Channel 1 TV.
Welcome to the Health Quarters Ghana, where medical science meets everyday life. Join Dr. Gideon Assan and the irrepressible Clemento Suarez as they tackle health issues.
My name is Dr. Gideon Assan. I have with me here my co-host, Clemento Suarez.
I knew how it felt anytime I started to feel the pain.
Whether it is hernia, breast cancer, cataracts, or infertility, the show brings together victims to share their real life stories and experts to debunk myths.
If you wear cotton supporter, and there be a pampers and a benwa or bosom. Hey. So you see, instead of it being raw egg, I done it because you ain't milk.
Make a date with us every Sunday at 4 p.m. on Channel 1 TV. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and all social media platforms at Health Quarters Ghana.
Welcome to The Point of View. This is your favorite current affairs show here on Channel 1 Television. On The Point of View, we pick the right topics, get the right guests, and ask them relevant questions on issues that matter to you.
With the complexities of the issues happening around us on a daily basis, it's the hard-hitting conversations and the probing questions of The Point of View.
So what is the Public Account Committee's job?
So what we do is to scrutinize, clarify, and find out why certain infractions have been made.
What do these IMF programs try to do?
The current program is for budget support.
Okay.
There are no projects attached.
That teases apart the twisted entanglements of politics and governance, as well as religious and social discourse. The Point of View brings you the policymakers and duty bearers and drills down to the very bottom of issues.
What authority do you have?
The Point of View airs every Monday and Wednesday at 9 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
Habibi, my people, welcome to Dubai. My name is Sheikh Alkal bin Maktoum. Okay, so I am Caleb, right? Caleb Kuda is my name, and this is Beyond Borders on Channel 1 Television. We are in Dubai. So join me. Let us explore the allure, the beauty, and the reality of life and living it in Dubai through the eyes and the experiences of our compatriots.
Imagine 6 people, 10 people sharing a common room together.
If you're not a na complain there in the sense, why you are share one rooms now? It doesn't smell pleasant. Or hunting no complaints now be bring to the fair no too.
Dubai is one of the most organized, highly resourced and well-endowed countries you would find.
You've been here for 7 months.
Yes.
Without a job.
Yeah.
How is it like?
So hard.
Tell me about it.
Struggling, renting and feeding is so hard.
Every frame per second of their lives in Dubai tells a story, and we've got it all captured right here on Beyond Borders, only on Channel 1 Television. So don't get told, don't miss out. Catch these compelling stories of Ghanaians in Dubai only on Beyond Borders on Channel 1 TV.
Beyond Borders airs every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV and is brought to you by Copen Hospitality.
Some really good games today. The PL, the Spanish La Liga, Italian Serie A, German Bundesliga, French Ligue 1, just in case you missed out on the first game in the PL, West Ham United, they beat Sunderland by 3-1. Burnley also are playing Spurs. It's goalless. 13 minutes. Fulham are taking on Brighton. Manchester City have taken a lead against Wolves. Omar Mamouche with the goal for the Citizens. Later, 5:30, there is Bournemouth up against Liverpool. When you head to the French Ligue 1, later at 4 p.m., Rennes will take on Lorient. Le Havre up against Monaco. Marseille will take on Lens. And then in Germany, Bayer Leverkusen are taking on Werder Bremen. Leverkusen 1, Werder Bremen 0. Bayern Munich are also taking on Uzbek. It's Bayern 1, Uzbek 0. Frankfurt taking on Hoffenheim 1-0 in favor of Frankfurt. Heidenheim taking on RB Leipzig goalless. Then Wolfsburg have taken a lead against Mainz. Later, 5:30, there is Union Berlin up against Dortmund in the German league. For the Italian Serie A, Como 2, Torino 0. Fiorentina will take on Cagliari at 5 p.m. Then Lecce will take on Lazio 7:45 p.m. Maybe if you're a big fan of Nagbreda, just because of Andrea Yu, he would be in action later tonight against PSV Eindhoven at 7 p.m. We'll be keeping tabs on him. Then in Spain, Rayo Vallecano, they lost to Osasuna by 3-1. Valencia will take on Espanyol later at 3:15 p.m. Sevilla will take on Athletic Bilbao at 5:30. And then the final game for today is between Villarreal and Real Madrid at 8 p.m. Send us your thoughts on the WhatsApp line 053996 0549986996. We're live on YouTube as well, City Sports Ghana, and then on X at City FM, live on Channel 1 TV also. Let me take some comments on YouTube and then I'll come back to the guys. Sweet Kwame says Haaland needs more rest. Mamouche also needs to play more. Charles Kwame 5481, he says bet you guys Man City will sink today too. Raymond Dakota says is Wolves going to cause an upset against Man City again? Miss Bernardi, he says, but you guys, Tottenham has bought a new left back from Santos in Brazil. His name is Sousa, and are negotiating to buy Andy Robertson. Okay, Sweet Kwame says Roddy was holding and pulling a jersey, counter-attack goals. Okay, he says Bodo Glimt didn't park the bus against Manchester City. Well, you can send your thoughts also to the WhatsApp line 05399696. And our big followers on YouTube, we see you all. We see and appreciate your comments. Keep sending them. Let's get back to the PL. Kwaja, you want to say something?
No, so I was just going over the Burnley Tottenham game.
Okay.
It's still tidy poised. I think Burnley haven't won in 13 league games. Tottenham only have 2 wins in their last 13.
Yeah.
But Burnley themselves haven't won since like the 26th of October. And we're in a new year. You can't be doing something
since 26th October.
Yeah,
hey,
since October.
Burnley has not won a game.
You can't be doing some things if you want to stay in the Premier League. Surprisingly, they're still within touching distance. It's not unrealistic for them to find their way out of this. But I think they need to start winning games. And even then, the last time they won, they had back-to-back wins. But then before then, they hadn't won for a while still. And they only have 3 wins the whole season, which is
Charlie, they'll go back to relegation.
You can't
Because what they are doing there,
they are not being competitive.
That's Scott Parker's team, eh?
I'm slightly disappointed for him because this is his third attempt at proving that he can come up with a team.
He's done it with Fulham.
He's done it with Fulham and with Bournemouth.
He brought Fulham and took them back again.
No,
and then
so he never had the chance to finish.
Both
times he's been sacked.
That's when they brought Marco Silva, eh?
Yeah.
Oh.
And Bournemouth, I think that when he was sacked, that's when Raiola also came in. So
and then this time he has a chance to oversee a full season, and he's done only 3 wins.
And I don't know if they've given him too much trust, because last season they had a record-breaking campaign, got 100 points in the championship.
But I think we should look at the signings they actually did, though.
Oh, they made some good signings.
Let me see. They brought in Leslie Ugochukwu from Chelsea. Kyle Walker, free agent. Who again? Martin Dubravka was not there, right?
No, they brought in
Armando Broja also from
Chelsea. They gave a lot of money to Chelsea players who were not even probably would have been on the bench this season, which is that's one of the things I liked about Sunderland. Sunderland didn't bring a single player above 20 million. The most they spent on players was about 17 million, but they were able to get over 10 players, different quality, all able to come in. If you go and spend 20 million on Broja from Chelsea, he has 1 goal in his last 40 Premier League games. He is not a consistent goal scorer. He's not what you need to, if you are trying to avoid relegation. So I'm surprised that they have Premier League experience, because Burnley themselves have been in the Premier League recently. Just 2 seasons ago, they had the similar experience, but very in the same vein with Kompany when he came up and they gave him the whole season and he played a style of football, and then they went down. Obviously, they've been able to find another manager that's been able to bring them up, but it looks like once again they come to the Premier League and they are not challenging at all. The last time I thought the people were insisting that because Kompany wanted to play attacking football and that's why the team couldn't adapt. I think his goalkeeper also let him down a bit. But
was it James Trafford?
Yeah, no, not Trafford.
It wasn't.
Another keeper of theirs. I think he went to Leeds after that.
I see.
But this season they've come up again and it looks like they are not able to be competitive in the league. I mean, to go 13 without a win, while other teams, even Wolves, are picking up points. That's quite disappointing. It's not there've been a lot of defeats in there as well.
Yeah,
a lot of tie games. Obviously, picking up a point against Liverpool last week is probably a positive sign for them. But I don't trust Liverpool. I don't think Liverpool themselves have been that dominant against teams at the bottom half of the season. So it's not necessarily anything to go by. Against Spurs today, Spurs also have a very tendency to give away wins now. So if you remember, Bournemouth hadn't won in 11 Premier League games when they went to play Spurs. Semenyo's final game, they were able to win. West Ham hadn't won for how long? For over 10 games, and then they went to play against Spurs, and then they were able to win. So this could be third time lucky for Burnley. They haven't won in a long time, and playing against the Spurs team, maybe they should be able to pick up something. If they're able to pick up any form of a result against Tottenham, if that's a win, I think Frank is at the point where they need to start considering whether they still have objectives for the season and whether he's a person who can help them achieve them.
Okay, so let's see what's up with the two teams. That's Burnley and Tottenham in the English Premier League. Let's see if they can get a huge 3 points today. Both teams are actually struggling this season in the PL. Okay, let's talk about Como. So Fabregas is Como because they've added a third goal. It's 3-0 in favor of Como. Como are taking on Torino. Yeah, let me bring you in on this. So Fabregas is doing some really good job in the Italian Serie A. Just quite going about his work.
Oh yes, I mean
they are now fifth on the table though in the Europa League places for next season. That's if you want to play in Europe.
Yeah, I mean he's gone to the right club, and look, you can be the most talented young coach on the come up, with the most prodigious talent, but at the end of the day, your choices also matter. The choice of coach, the choice of team you coach, it matters. But it needs to be a club that you can identify your ideology with. Because if it is against the club's quote unquote DNA, as we've heard a lot of Man United people throw about, right from the jump, it means that you are fighting already. That they're playing a certain way, you come in, you change it, and you are playing in a different way. Right from the jump, you have an enemy already, or a detractor, in the sense that, oh, he's not even honoring the way we play our games. So unless you continue winning and winning and winning, you always have issues. If you win, oh yeah, they'll keep quiet. The detractors will keep quiet. But if you don't win, that's where there's an issue. And I think he's gone to the right club, a club that is that has young in terms of the tenure of the ownership. They haven't been there for a very long time. They haven't owned the club for a very long time.
And I'm even looking at the players he's using, right? Apart from the goalkeeper in Butes, he's 30 years old, and the right back in Vojvoda, who is 30 also. The rest of the players are early 20s. 21, 23, Rodriguez past 21, Duviskas, who scored today, 26, Baturina 22, Dacunya 24.
There's even the young Senegalese player also in there, Alassane Diao. All of them are quite young, and so I think he's going to the right club. And on top of that, I love the fact that his evaluation of players isn't based on statistics. His evaluation of
is also 20 years. So.
Yeah, his evaluation of players is based on the natural flow of the game, the touch, the feel, how he sees the game play out. That's how he evaluates players. I mean, there are some players that coaches have never seen them before or heard of them before, but their teams have recommended them for buy or for purchase because they check the statistics, the XG, XAG, all of these statistics. And so he is a bit different. Yes, statistics do help, but at the end of the day, it's not the end or be all. But it's about what the player does and in a certain situation, how he reacts to certain situations. That's how you determine whether, okay, this guy can play under a lot of stress. He can play under a lot of duress. He can cope with all the anxiety that comes with playing for, let's say, a club like Man United or a club like Real Madrid. All of those things count. And the fact that he's not too hell-bent on outpossessing, playing boring, quote-unquote, boring football, controlling every phase of or the facets of the game. The fact that he lets the game flow naturally. So those are the things that I like about Cesc Fabregas, and I think that by going to Como with relatively new owners, have very big ambitions, have quite a significant amount of money, but they don't want to splash it on already made or established players, but promising young players and build themselves up. I think he's going to the right club and join the right project, because the players that he's working with, they are not household name players, established players, big stars whose
unless you're like a big football fanatic that you know a lot of these players.
So where, like, let's say Real Madrid, Xabi Alonso situation where
he's working with
the ego of the players, because of who they are, it prevents them from being able to do all the things that the coach wants them to do, or a lot of the things that the coach wants them to do, especially if it does not involve they having more of the ball and the team playing or gravitating towards those players. They always have issues. But if you go to a club where it is filled with youngsters,
there isn't much pressure,
yeah, they're giving you the free range.
Because I'm not even sure
to lay out your plan, your game plan, your philosophy.
I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure that the objective from or the
win the title.
No, not even win the title, to even
qualify. Once you qualify to the Conference League, they are good. Once you qualify to the Conference League, they are good. And that feeds into this whole new trend where you look at the coach and what he's done with the team and the players that he's working with.
The people have added a 4th goal, Como 4, Torino 0.
Yeah. So you look at the potential in there. That okay, Fabregas is doing this with all these young players in the Italian league. Okay, if he can maintain this and maybe get them to qualify to the Europa League, then it's clear that he's fit enough or good enough to be able to coach, a team like Tottenham Hotspurs. Maybe
I see different expectations
or
different
maybe
objectives.
Yes, like, because it's a step up. It's just like Liam Rossini.
Yeah,
like you look at what he did with Strasbourg and go like, okay, if this guy can do this with Strasbourg, then if you give him a project like Chelsea, then he can do better. And so that's how I see Cesc Fabregas' career.
This actually opens up this conversation that I saw from Jose Mourinho when he said that these days a lot of the coaches that have come, their body of work doesn't really speak much for them. So they get up and then they are just coaching a big team. And then he mentioned a few names though. Unlike their time, when you have to work your way up, your body of work has to speak for you. And Mourinho himself is a perfect example.
Yes.
From where? Portugal, the Italian Serie A, EPL to Spain, back to EPL, back to Spain. I think he's gone to Turkey, he's gone to Portugal. But Liam Rosinha is a perfect example. From Strasbourg, he jumps to Chelsea.
From Hull City, he went to Strasbourg.
I mean, then you have to include him working at Derby County with Wayne Rooney. According to Rooney, at least tactically.
So I think with Fabregas, he's actually building himself slowly. Yeah, because I'm looking at where Como are occupying now. They are 5th on the table. If they are to qualify for the Conference League, it means that or the Europa, they would have to do battle with Atalanta and Juventus and AS Roma. These 3 teams.
Yeah, because and the top 3. Because the top 3 is pretty much established.
Yeah,
I mean, with
the coaches managing these 3
Napoli,
teams
AC Milan, Inter Milan.
Yeah, I think they've taken those. The coaches managing these 3 teams I've mentioned are like experienced coaches.
Yeah, I mean, Gasperini is now the coach for AS Roma.
Yeah.
He's
Juventus. Who is at Juventus now?
Spalletti. Luciano Spalletti.
The whole yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's sometimes confusing.
And who is Atalanta now?
Atalanta, they've sacked Ivan Juric, and so they brought in another Italian.
They sacked
they sacked him. They sacked him about a month ago.
I see.
Almost 2 months ago, actually. Yeah, they sacked him about almost 2 months ago, and that's how come Kamal Dean's also his minutes have also been affected because he is his guy. And he hasn't necessarily distinguished himself.
But he's fought for Kamal Dean though.
Well, at least he's elevated his. You pull him from. He took him from Southampton to Atlanta.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's his guy. Like that's his guy. Yeah.
I'm just saying he did him a solid.
Oh yeah. Super. And they paid like 20 million.
He had before he was signed by Atalanta.
Yeah, and they paid like 20 million euros to get him. And Atalanta paying 20 million euros. It's a big deal.
Yeah,
because they are not the richest.
The coach managing them now is Raffaele Palladino. He's an Italian. I'm sure he's an ex-player of the club or something like that.
So yeah, that's how it goes. And so Gasperini, I think he's quite he's new with the AS Roma job. I'm surprised he left Atalanta. I think
there's a 5th goal from Como. Hey,
yeah.
What's going on there?
Yeah, they're like. It's a free-flowing kind of game that they play. Yeah, very free-flowing. And so when they are good, they are really, really, really good. But working with youngsters, the ups and downs will come, and so that's when they get really bad.
Yeah, because they struggled against AC Milan.
Once they get to that top tier level, then the limitations and their weaknesses tend to be exposed, and it comes to the fore. I mean, you are playing against AC Milan. Guess who scored 2 goals in that game against Como? Adrian Rabiot.
Yeah.
Very experienced chap. And on top of that, Mike Maignan, the goalkeeper for AC Milan, he made some very decent, solid saves in there to keep AC Milan in the game. At the time, it was 1-1. And so it kept AC Milan in the game. Then they managed to tap into their pool of experienced players, Pulisic and company, Rafael Leao, those guys, and they managed to score 2 more goals and back a 3-1 win over Como. So that's where you see the ceiling.
Yeah.
But you can see the potential in Cesc Fabregas and a lot of these players. And so, let's say he gets handed maybe the Chelsea job, maybe a couple of years' time. Yeah, that's how his career is likely to go. Or maybe, let's say, the Arsenal job. If Arteta wants to go and coach, let's say, Barcelona. Fabregas would be a perfect fit.
I think Barca would be looking at Fabregas too. Like
the same thing.
Yeah. I think the key point.
But if I'm Barca, I'll go in for Arteta. I mean, because he has been he is grizzled.
Slightly
he is grizzled, because I mean, if you've coached Arsenal for 6 years, it's not easy. In the Premier League, it's not easy. It means that you've seen everything. You've seen everything, and potentially you could win a championship, a title of some sort this season, because they are competing the Carabao Cup. They are semi-finals. They are Champions League in a very strong position. The league, very strong position. I mean, 7 points is solid. So if he is able to win a title, and you get a chance to pick between Mikel Arteta, Fabregas. I know Fabregas fits the Barcelona model through and through, but I'll still go with Arteta.
Okay.
Then have Fabregas go to Arsenal and play like or be the reincarnation of Arsene Wenger. Those days when the Arsenal football was very, very champagne, tasty kind of football. Yeah, that's how I'll see it.
Okay. What do you think? Do you think the big team should start looking at Cesc Fabregas? Or still listening or watching the Republic of Football as you've been watching on TV? Yep, on Channel 1 TV, on YouTube, City Sports Ghana. Doing the listening live on X, CTFM. Then we are live on radio 97.3. I am Gabi. You can find me on X, Gabi Milito7. I've got Yaoi Jeminta and also Manola Angelo Kwache in studio with me. You can also send your thoughts through this number 0539 986 996. Let's get back to the Etihad. There's something ongoing check that has to do with, is that Mosquera?
Yes.
Mosquera and what's it looking like?
So Mamouche had the ball in the box.
Okay, so the referee's going to check, right?
The referee's going to check. Mamouche had the ball in the box. He tried to check back while he was lifting the ball. It hit apparently hit the arm of Mosquera, and based on the proximity, I mean, because it was inside the box, the referee is checking whether it can be given as a penalty. Personally, I think because his arm is out wide, it looks like, how do you call it? It looks like his it's outside his natural silhouette, as they say. So it looks like he may have affected play with his arm.
But at the same
time, too, I don't think it has any bearing on the game, if that makes sense. Like it's a bit away from goal. It's quite close to him, if I'm being fair. It's not that far away. I don't think he had that much time to react or get his arm out of the way. He's probably trying to get his arm out to more to
I mean, when you look at it slow-mo, it looks a bit silly. It looks like it's intentional, but it's not intentional.
It makes it more worse. Like when
but it's not intentional. You look at the way he
I mean, it's human. He's trying to
because it's in a natural position. He kicked his leg up, anticipating that there will be a cross, and Mama must check the ball back. So in that sense, when you kick your leg up, I mean, your arm will definitely go up naturally.
So you would find it happening naturally. So
I don't think this should be given as a penalty.
I really want to see what the verdict will be.
I don't think it should be given as a penalty because proximity to the ball was very close, and then his hand was in a natural position. And so for me, that's how I see it. But we'll see what the referee decides.
Well, 37 minutes played. Madrid City 1, Wolves 0. In the Italian Serie A, Como have scored a 6th goal against Torino. So I don't know what's happening to Torino, Charlie. Just abundance of goals at Como's home ground. So it's Como 6.
Yeah, the problem with the slow motion is just on that quickly. If you look at his slow mo, it would look like his arm came out.
So
before,
it wasn't given, right?
Yeah, before Mamouche kicked the ball.
Yeah,
but I think his arm was already up.
Yeah,
before Mamouche kicked the ball. So
that's yeah. I think that's a proper verdict from there.
Yeah, proper.
Pep certainly doesn't like that decision.
Yeah, he wouldn't like it. Of course, you for the obvious reasons.
Yeah, and I look at we saw something before we went for the break, but I couldn't talk about it before the break because we had to get that break. There was a long pass from deep that fell to Antoine Semenyo, and he struck the ball very well.
Yeah,
and Jose Sa saved. Now that is the kind of service that he thrives on.
Oh yeah, I said the same thing.
That is the kind of
that's
service
what he loves.
He thrives on.
Spurs have got.
But you look at
I think that's
but the quality of the passing that comes from deep when it comes to the Black Stars, that's where it becomes a bit problematic. If you can't work the ball inside, I mean those triangle passes, that flow, that triangle flow of passing to create space, we don't necessarily have it when it comes to the Black Stars. That's another outlet, as in played long. I've seen the Black Stars players try it, but unfortunately, the supply hasn't been of quality note, and so it's either overhit or it's just a bad pass.
Okay,
and you don't give him much chance to be able to attack those kind of balls.
Well, at the Turf Moor, Van de Ven has given Spurs the lead. I think that's another player who would probably leave Spurs.
Yeah, I mean, when Daniel Levy not there anymore any longer.
I saw a publication around him that his future was
under the microscope.
Yeah,
I mean, this is his third season at Spurs, and
I think he's been one of Spurs' brightest players in the last few seasons.
He's been one of their best players, and the fact that there's no Daniel Levy in there, it increases his chances of leaving. I mean, because Daniel Levy is a very, very tough negotiator. Very, very tough negotiator.
Now things will be slightly flexible.
Things will be a little bit better. I mean, because everyone who has
dealt with him
has had issues and has complained over and over and over again that this guy will make you pay through the nose to get his player or an important player of that sort. Man United had to deal with him doing the Michael Carrick sale. I think Berbatov too. Then you look at the other clubs that had to deal with him. Remember Real Madrid, the Gareth Bale thing.
Yeah,
he had to go on strike. There was so many issues with Daniel Levy as the chairman for Spurs when it came to transfers. But now with Spurs definitely in some kind of struggle to miss out on some money when it comes to the English Premier League standings, and I don't see them being able to make a deep run in the Champions League. That means they'll be a little bit short on cash, and so in that sense, in order to balance the books, once you sell Mickey Van de Ven, you'll be able to balance it out and have surplus.
Yeah, just on that, I also saw a communique from some Spurs supporter coming out after that story saying that Mickey Van de Ven is happy with his contract and
he's happy
and is to see out the rest of his contract at Spurs.
He's a Spurs journalist?
Insider.
So he's bringing back the information from the club wants. He's now their second top goal of the season. I'm surprised Richarlison has 7 Premier League goals. I do not think I've seen.
Yeah, so I mean, the thing is, he scored goals, but they've come in.
Van de Ven has how many goals now?
4 goals. Richarlison has 7.
Yeah, Richarlison has scored goals, but unfortunately, it has come in losses. So we don't pay much attention to it. Oh, I mean, remember the Spurs Arsenal game? That brilliant long range strike.
They ended up losing.
They ended up losing by 2-1. But that was a brilliant goal. So the goal got ignored. You get it? Ignored because they lost. And on top of that, the goal count, the quality of the goal got ignored, largely ignored. Then the goal count itself, also the impact of the goal count also got largely ignored. But he's been scoring. But unfortunately, most of the goals that he scored, they've come in as consolation goals in losses. So yeah, I don't really pay much attention to it.
Okay, Frankfurt won. Hoffenheim have taken no, they've equalized, so it's 1-0 between Frankfurt and Hoffenheim. Question.
Just to touch back on the Serie A thing, I
on
think
Como, right?
Yeah, on Como, they are doing really well. But I think with these managers, it depends on the time that you decide to leave. I think we've seen a lot of promising managers. Graham Potter was that at Brighton. As much as right now history will tell you that he's not a good manager, Graham Potter at one point was one of the most sought after young managers.
What's history will tell you? But he's not a good manager.
He's a Chelsea fan, so I don't expect you to.
Oh, he's a good manager, but
Graham Potter was a good
average.
manager. He's a good manager. He did quite well at Brighton.
Brighton, yeah.
You
That's
saw
the
what-
only.
No, he did quite well.
Even at Östersund, when he was
yeah,
at
as
Sweden.
in
before
Sweden,
he
right
came.
from the jump.
That's why he's got the Sweden national team
Yeah,
job now.
right from
because
the
of how
jump
well
all the
regarded.
way
So his
to
work, the work he did at
Brighton.
Sweden actually
Yes.
spoke for you.
Yeah. And
Okay.
even if you look at someone like Xabi Alonso is a slight extreme example because I think his body of work is so good and the circumstances around which he was sacked at Real Madrid mean that he's not necessarily going to be short of suitors. But you see a problem with young managers, and I'm worried that this is what might happen to Rosinia. That you see a young manager who takes a jump at a point where maybe it's a bit too early, and sometimes they either take the wrong club or they jump too early.
Choices.
Yeah,
Choices.
and that will start to affect how people regard you in the future going forward.
Yeah.
I don't know how this will affect someone like Amorim, but if you look at Ten Hag,
Your reputation.
Yeah, Ten Hag he's a
Yeah,
literally laughing stock.
And then the
that is quite
Leverkusen
sad.
thing did more damage.
But
to
the Leverkusen thing I can was
You can
entirely
understand.
based on the perception that had been built around him from Manchester United.
Okay.
Because people were, even when he was given the job, people were surprised that why are you giving it to? But he wasn't a failed coach, which is the irony of the situation. It's just the perception around him that became too hard to constantly sell to the clubs. And I'm just worried that sometimes as young coaches, rather than waiting out, spending like 2-3 seasons at the club and achieving more, they try and go quickly in for the big job. Sometimes it works out really well. If you look at maybe another example, would be Company at Bayern. When they got him from Burnley, he's been able to adapt really quickly. But if you go into a club and you are not able to immediately match the standards, people start thinking that you're a fraud and that you were reliant on the good players or the structure around you, and that's how quickly football moves. And yeah, just obviously I think he in particular he would fit the Barca
job.
Yeah, but he would also fit one of the top jobs in Italian football. You mentioned with all the merry-go-round. And credit to yesterday, how do you call it? Inter came from 2-0 down to win 6-2. So they solidified themselves at the top of the Serie A table. It looked like, I thought it was going to be a 4-horse race. Maybe Napoli, maybe Roma would be in there. But they seem to have shred themselves apart from even Milan, who are in second. But I think right now it's argued between the two of them. I don't know whether Napoli will be able to defend their title. Conte doesn't, surprisingly not doing well in the league, but in Europe they've been quite shocking. I don't know why for over 10 years now Conte hasn't been able to find a solution to playing midweek European football and competing in the league. But it looks like if they were able to push, they can probably push for Champions League as well, because the other teams above them are not, I think they're just 2 points behind Roma, and with this win they go just 2 points behind Roma in the Serie A table. Antoine Semenyo has scored for Manchester City.
Oh my goodness. Antoine Semenyo is on the score sheet again for Manchester City. City 2, Wolves 0. What a start to his career at Manchester City, y'all. Just when we Oh,
okay, let me see the ball.
Antoine Semenyo is making
Shaky take the ball from Shaky.
with his left
finish.
Oh boy, my goodness.
First touch.
The unpredictability about him.
Yeah. So look at him being on that wing.
The first touch set
he took the first touch with his right.
With his right, he set himself up brilliantly. Then he killed the ball into the net with his left foot.
Charlie, that's what three goals in 4 matches.
Yes, 3 goals in 4 matches. Then you ask yourself, okay, so how do we replicate this when it comes to Ghana?
Yeah, I'll leave the Black Stars.
No, I'm just saying this. Oh, you see, when it happens,
I understand.
You need to learn, like we are learning.
No, I understand the concerns because the World Cup is coming. He will come and be looking like
he looks
an ordinary
lost.
player.
He looks lost. So how do you work a situation when it comes to the Black Stars to be able to work the ball to that part of the field for him to be able to take for his brilliance to take over?
Yeah.
And because this one, it was just a simple pass. So his first touch set himself up brilliantly for the finish. It took out the defender, created space all in one sequence. So with just one touch, he set himself up to be able to have a proper strike of the ball at goal, free himself of a defender, and get enough space to be able to position himself very well and effect that strike.
In summary, all of this is coaching.
Because the quality will come, the player quality will come.
All of this is coaching.
So the player quality will come. It will come to the fore when you put him in that position. But the coach's job is to ensure that the ball gets to him.
Yeah. Look, we are not in the dressing room of cities, but Pep might have said a word or two to Semenyo as to what to do in the box when the services get to him.
Omar Mamouche scored his goal.
Yeah. So
guess what?
I get
Pep Guardiola was gesticulating.
Yeah.
He said inside. He did this. Inside. Because Omar Mamouche ran inside or into the box, and he was in the perfect position to tap that ball into the net because the cross did come in. With this, he was perfectly positioned at the edge of the box. He took that first touch, set himself up, and just bent the ball into the net.
And it looks like they're playing slightly differently from how we thought. So at least from the first half, it looked like for some of the first half,
I think
Cherki was more middle, and it looks like Mamouche and Semenyo almost like the wide strikers who are coming inside.
So it looks like it's a 4-3-3, but it looks like it's a 4-4-2
on the pitch.
Kind of diamond in the middle. So you have Nunes having a lot of room down that right side. Nico Riley to the scene with Tijani Reinders and Bernardo Silva tagged in a little bit diagonally off Rodri. Then you have Cherki drifting inside, but playing behind those two guys. That's Mamouche and Antoine Semenyo, and he being the tip of that diamond in the midfield. And that's how they are dishing out the instructions of Pep Guardiola.
Okay, so it's half time. Manchester City 2, Wolves 0. Antoine Semenyo with his third goal in 4 matches for City.
But Kwachi was mentioning some of the coaches that made that jump and got benched. You remember this guy, Frank de Boer?
Yeah.
When was the last time you heard Frank de Boer? He coached Inter Milan, got sacked.
He came to Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace got sacked after what 30?
It was 4 games.
Frank
4 games. He lost 4 games. They didn't score.
They started hype around that man.
You see, ever since have you heard of him again? He went to the MLS, coached there for like 2 seasons or so, and that was it. He hasn't been coaching. He hasn't coached since 2023. You get it happens.
Yeah, choices. Like
the choices. It's the choices.
I hope Liam Rosinia doesn't suffer that same.
Because look, you are Frank de Boer. You come from that Dutch school of football.
Yeah.
Heavy possession, possessive football. And you go and pick Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace at the time where Roy Hodgson had left.
Yeah.
And were playing, old school kind of football.
I read this article about him that if he was touted as the next or one of the biggest managers to come from the Dutch land and then go on and do big things. In fact, they were even comparing him to Louis van Gaal.
Yes, because he had won the Dutch league with Ajax on 3 straight years, and he was like you said, the next big thing. Like Frank Rijkaard before he moved over to Barcelona and did this thing, won the Champions League with Barcelona and all. Then he made the wrong choices. I mean, Crystal Palace at the time when Roy Hodgson had left, and they were more, old school.
Yeah,
inclined, like old school throwback, very physical, boom boom kind of football. But Frank de Boer picked that team.
Yeah,
they don't have the materials to play that kind of game, possessive game.
No, I mean, but to be fair, Crystal Palace have done quite well, and I think sometimes with most of these clubs, you saw with Lopetegui too when he came in for the Wolves job before he got a West Ham job. Sometimes it's just about getting into the Premier League, and then the other teams can assess you, and even if you play a bit well, then you are
before he took the Wolves job, he was from where? Sevilla.
So he had been at Sevilla, but he was primarily at Real Madrid.
So his first job in the PL was Wolves.
Yes, yeah. He was a Spain manager, and then during the World Cup, he said he would go and coach Real Madrid.
And
they sacked him immediately, and then Real Madrid also subsequently sacked him, and then he had to go to Sevilla to be able.
He shouldn't have made that comment. He shouldn't have picked.
As for that thing,
he shouldn't have made that move. He should have shelved it and waited for the World Cup to end.
Yeah.
Because you don't do that to Real Madrid. You see, that's the thing. If it was Valencia or Celta Vigo, fine.
You can go on
You can go ahead and do it. But Real Madrid, when you know that there's politics, heavy politics involved with the Spanish job, with that whole Real Madrid Barcelona factor, you go and you make a move to sign as Real Madrid boss before the start of the World Cup. That will definitely take attention from all the work that you are putting into the campaign for Spain. And let's say you have to make some big calls or some bold calls, and you drop a certain number or a certain key Barcelona player, maybe to fit your tactic against a particular opponent. Fights make the styles make fights. So maybe you are going to face an opponent that you don't need too much of a heavy possessive guy. So you need someone like maybe Mikel Merino, someone who is big, who is strong, can do the basics, but he gets the edge because of his physicality. Then you drop a Barcelona player.
Yeah.
Because they don't normally go in for such players. Can you imagine how the narrative will be like? It will be quite difficult. So in that sense, he made the wrong decision to sign for Real Madrid before the World Cup. It should have been done after the World Cup.
Okay. It's halftime at the League Centre. Burnley equalized before halftime. Axel Twanzebe, he got a goal for Burnley, assessed by Kyle Walker. Yeah. So Kyle Walker with the
came in
assist
from a set piece. I mean,
Yeah,
it doesn't do either team much. A point doesn't help either team in their possession. So I think one of them has to try and win the game.
that
It
game.
doesn't. Spurs have had good chances, I think, but they haven't really been able to do anything with the pressure. And if it's the same thing, if you are playing against Burnley, and even again, with all due respect to Burnley, but you can't play your best football against Burnley, I think it shows how much the coach is struggling to have an imprint of his style on the team. Yeah, but like I keep saying, he's been salvaged by the Champions League. Only problem is I don't think Spurs can win the Champions League. So at some point, it's different from the Europa League. Europa League, they had a good shot of winning the Europa League. So even if they were going through the patchy form in the league, they could always back it up.
Okay.
The Champions League, as soon as you are knocked out, and people are just going to remember your home form, or you're 14th in the table, you haven't won a game since, and all that will come back to bite him.
But just before you go, I think once they are very likely to qualify to the Champions League knockout stage. Once they get to the knockout stage and maybe they exit, it will be close to March. And at that point in time, I don't think there will be enough time to bring in a new coach. You get it?
Yeah.
At that point of the season, because you'll be getting to the end of the season. April, May, you're done. So bringing in a new coach I don't think will do anything unless you are in a desperate relegation battle. And I don't see Tottenham Hotspur being in that space, because Burnley and Wolves already have those two relegation spots secured. Burnley and Wolves, they have those two relegation spots secured.
Yeah.
Then you have Bournemouth, you have Leeds United, Nottingham Forest. About 4 teams who are also close to joining them. I don't see Tottenham Hotspur being part of those teams. And so I think he will be just okay. And once that happens, I don't see him getting the sack, because it will be too late in the season, and Tottenham Hotspur wouldn't be too desperate. So I don't see him getting sacked before the season, and I think it will be after the season. Then they bring in someone from the start. Then that coach can get a full-blown off-season and possibly bring in some players to be able to start his career.
I'm worried that they could use a Man United example and think of bringing in maybe Ryan Mason back, try and get a good feel, good factors. Maybe that they can go on a run to the end of the season and improve their position. Because as much as they finished 17th, that's just one position above where you get relegated.
Yeah.
And if obviously it seems unprecedented that Spurs will get relegated, but if you aren't playing well, if you aren't performing, and there's even a scenario in which they sack the coach and it doesn't have an effect on them, it's touch and go. I don't think it's as guaranteed that Spurs are good enough to not be relegated.
Oh no, it's not guaranteed. I mean, even Man United flirted with relegation a couple of seasons ago. But the thing is, you have to look at the others who are in the quote-unquote relegation battle or fight, and there are quite a number of them. And out of that lot, Spurs look like the best team in that group. I mean, because you have Forest, Nottingham Forest, Leeds United. There's Bournemouth in there. Yeah, out of that lot, Spurs do look like a better team. And on top of that, after the international window in March, Kudus is likely to come back, and that should also help. Richarlison is also likely to come back by that time, and that should also help.
Okay, well, if Spurs fail, at least they fail to win this game, at least Crystal Palace and Bournemouth could go above them. They could finish the
Crystal Palace too.
Yeah, even Leeds, I mean, no goal difference, but Leeds could draw level with them. And if you're level with a relegation fighting team, I don't think that's the position to be in at this stage of the season.
Well, it's half time. The league centers in England. City with a 2-goal lead against Wolves. Spurs and Burnley is 1-1. Brighton also with the lead against Fulham at the Craven Cottage. Take you to the other countries. Let's get to Germany. Just a quick update from that place. Do a quick goal rush. So Bayer Leverkusen taking the lead against Werder Bremen. Bayern Munich 1, Augsburg 0, Frankfurt 1, Hoffenheim 3, Heidenheim 0, RB Leipzig 3. Mainz have just equalized against Wolfsburg. Then later 5:30. Union Berlin will take on Dortmund. I want to give an update from Accra because
they got ranked 100th in the world.
Yeah, they
100th in the world.
They also beat 11 Wonders as
Oh, of course, they will beat 11 Wonders. I mean, 100th in the world. Yeah,
don't do that.
When you say 100, a lot of people don't get it. They look at it like, look at all the countries in the world, and Ghana got ranked 100. It's cool, but
someone saw the story and sent me the flyer. It's like he doesn't understand. Is our league that bad?
Oh yeah, you see, the thing is, you look at all the countries in the world, and
that's what the ranking says.
A lot of countries are playing football.
Yeah.
So you think, 100.
What Guatemala and what?
Yeah. So you think, 100 there, we are okay. But when you look at the list, the rankings, and you find out that Nicaragua League is ranked ahead of Ghana. Venezuela that is dealing with hyperinflation and turmoil. Donald Trump went to abduct their president and all. Their Premier League is ranked ahead of Ghana.
Interesting.
Guatemala League is ranked ahead of Ghana. I mean, Nicaragua, come on, Nicaragua. Their league is ranked ahead of Ghana. And we are ranked 100th in the world.
Charlie,
I mean, it's serious.
Well, in Spain, Valencia have taken the lead against Espanyol. Later at 5:30, there is Sevilla Athletic Bilbao for you. Villarreal will take on Real Madrid.
It's a very tough game.
At 8 p.m. Yeah, it should be good. Michel Papigay will play.
I expect Partey to start that game, and Papigay to come in a little bit later. He played the champion. I expect him to start this game. Then Papigay potentially could replace him.
All right, let me jump on to the WhatsApp console. A few messages here. Kobe Baden listening from Dan Soman Sahara says we will beat Manchester City for Arsenal, and we are beating Arsenal for Manchester City. God willing, tomorrow. Okay, I'll see what you've done there. Ellie says, good afternoon, guys. I know surely that history will be made this year. Chelsea will win the Champions League. It will be the biggest surprise for many football lovers. I had a dream twice this year, and I saw them lifting a trophy with huge celebration. So a trophy is loading at Stamford Bridge. The Pep's philosophy has been hijacked by many teams, and he's confused.
Maybe FA Cup.
He should just take a break or a year. I saw this link people did. So in 2021, you know, Senegal won the AFCON.
Yeah,
and then it says in 2021 to Thomas Tuchel guided Chelsea to
win the Champions League.
And then what else happened?
There's also people pointing out that every time Chelsea have won a Champions League, the manager has come in mid-season.
That was one. Yeah. And the manager came in saying he's a young manager. I'm like, hey, you boys should come in.
Well, I mean, like I say, world champions. So why not? What is Europe to you?
Anything can happen. Yeah, Champions League football is a different ball game. Though you find teams is not too performing well in the league, and playing the Champions League is a different ball game altogether. Yeah, but let's see what will happen though. You can send in your thoughts 0539 96 996 0539 96 996. Later 4:30 would activate the phone line. So 27 minutes more you can wait, then would activate. It will be time for you to talk to us about your team. I would love to hear from people on what they think about Semenyo at City and Semenyo at the Black Stars. I would love to hear from what our listeners and viewers think though, because the World Cup is coming in, just like Yao says. If you are watching Semenyo under Pep and he's playing this kind of football, and then he comes to Ghana, he has to play under Otuado, and it's a different thing.
Even before Pep, he was playing under Andoni
Raiola,
a guy who is tipped as the next big thing.
I saw a start today before this game. So Semenyo has 14 goal involvement now. So combining what he's done at Bournemouth and then what he's doing at City, so it's now 15 goals because he scored again today. So it's 15 goal involvement this season. So 11 goals and then 4 assists. Charlie, bro,
I think 23 games.
Yeah, maybe 23, 24 if we have to add this.
And he still only has 1 goal for Ghana.
In about what? How many? Where did he come?
That's impressive.
He came
before the World Cup.
The World Cup.
He scored in Switzerland. He scored against Switzerland.
Yeah.
In our warm-up World Cup qualifier. The warm-up against Switzerland. He
Yeah.
scored in that game.
I think Salisu also scored his first goal in that game too. Yeah, I remember.
So the fact that that's close to 3 years. He has
1 goal in. Hey, bro, nah. We need to see the Semenyo at Bournemouth and City for Ghana at the World Cup, because this can't be happening. It can't. It really can't be happening.
I mean, with his scoring form and Kudus' form and assist.
When is Kudus returning? April?
March. By the end of the March international window. So yeah, April.
So early
the beginning of April. Yeah.
Okay. Let me see.
Jordan too has not been doing too bad in the championship.
Yeah. Jordan and Fatal. I watched them last week.
Fatal too has a shout to start this season. I don't know if you can argue. I know he got injured apparently in the Premier League, but I don't.
Oh, I saw a story. That story, I think it was not true, right? That which team was looking to? Was it Bournemouth?
Yeah, Bournemouth.
He was on the radar of Bournemouth.
Replace Semenyo with
Fatal. Yeah. It wasn't legit like that. Yeah, because
I mean, I don't think Leicester also they bought him not too long ago. They took he was on loan from Sporting, and then they paid the fee for him.
Yeah.
So especially with these long-term contracts, given how well he's performed this season, unless you come in with a lot of money,
maybe they'll want to see him see out this season.
Yeah. And they probably want to see him in the Premier League, because if he performs well in the Premier League, that adds at least an extra 40.
You mean with Leicester?
Million. Yeah, with Leicester. If he able to come to the Premier League, perform well, once they are going down, they can probably sell him for. They probably hope to stay in the Premier League, but they are not even at this point in time. I don't think they are in the top 3 to qualify from the Championship. That's Coventry. I think Coventry have one of the positions, and Ipswich are also in there.
Mm-hmm.
But Leicester so far they haven't been able to.
Ipswich are losing today, though.
Ipswich are losing today.
Yeah, and Leicester too are losing today.
Leicester are losing today. Yeah, they started a bit well, but then they fell flat during the season, and so they haven't been able to. Obviously, Coventry are the pace setters, and Thomas Asante seems to be doing really well for them over there.
Well, I think with them they'll be in the PL next season.
Yeah, I think they are at least 8 points off the
it's Middlesbrough now on second. Coventry are yet to play 58-55. Middlesbrough are playing now. No, they played yesterday
and they won.
Yeah, they beat Preston by 4-0. Ipswich, and then
so Ipswich are in third.
So the 4 teams are Ipswich, Hull City, Millwall, and Watford. I'm sure. So these 4 teams will play the playoffs.
Wow, how many points are Ipswich on?
Ipswich, they have 50 points.
Yeah, so they are
50 points for Ipswich.
The Coventry are at least 8 points away from automatic qualification. Obviously, even if they finish second, they can still qualify directly to the Premier League without having to go through the playoffs, and that should be interesting. Leicester, surprising thing for me are Leicester and Southampton. Southampton got rid of Wolves.
Leicester are falling off 14th.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. They
when the league started, they were somewhere around in the top 5. Oh.
Yeah. They started really well, and Fatau got a few bangers in the first weeks of the season. But it looks like since then they haven't been able to. And the problem with the championship is it's very competitive.
Yeah.
Like, all the teams are about the same level. Even Wrexham, who came up from
Wrexham
from League One last season,
I think
they are
okay.
doing well.
Yeah.
Obviously, Wrexham, their investments are a bit different. Southampton,
that's Reynolds' team, eh?
Yeah, Southampton too. They haven't been able to match their form. I think they had a very poor start to the season when they had Will Still in. They brought him in, the Englishman from RC Lens in France, and he wasn't able to replicate that form. I think they've picked it up a bit, but I think they're still some way away from securing automatic qualification. So you are seeing a trend now where previously the teams that came directly up from the championship were almost destined to go back down to the championship, and the teams that went down to the championship were coming back up immediately. But I think with this season you are seeing you are seeing the things narrative bending away from that. Like some of the teams that have come up, obviously Leeds are not in the relegation zone. Burnley are, but you have two established Premier League teams in Wolves and West Ham in the relegation zone. And in the championship, the teams that went down, you see Southampton and Ipswich. Obviously Ipswich are slight anomaly because they were back-to-back promotions to get to the Premier League, so they were probably going to find it more hard to maintain their balances. The only thing is if they're able to invest their parachute payments for the money that he gets within the 3-year period for having been in the Premier League, if they're able to invest that well, they should be able to come to a level that would go that should get them back into the championship. And they have the best. I think they have the most stability because they still have their manager from when they were in the Premier League, McKenna. He was floated around. I think they mentioned him for the Chelsea job, the United job, because of his connection to when Ole was there. But he's been able to steady the ship, and he looks at them competing. If they're able to get back to the Premier League, I think that would be an achievement for them. And maybe this time they'd be able to be more competitive and how do you call it? If they're able to invest the money well and try and stay in the Premier League and establish themselves back.
All right, let's get back to the Etihad Stadium. So just some few stats around what City are doing against Wolves. So City have scored 25 first half goals in 23 Premier League games this season. That's more than any other team. Yeah, that's more than any other team. I think they're on the verge of scoring a third as we speak. It's 49 minutes played at the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City 2, Wolves 0. Antoine Semenyo and then Omar Mamouche, 2 African players, giving Pep Guardiola the 2 goals. And for people who say that Pep doesn't like working with African players, it's the African players that have delivered the goodies for Pep today. Elsewhere in Germany, Bayern Munich, I think they're about to taste their first defeat. It's Bayern 1, Osberg 2. Yeah. Charlie, last week I was watching Bayern and Leipzig, right? Jurgen Klopp was in the stands, and then Leipzig took the lead. They were all excited, only to end up losing 6-1 was a 4-1.
Yeah, it was 6-1.
6-1,
yeah, it was very performance. I mean, hopefully, I think Klopp was there because of his Leipzig connections and not for the Bayern job.
Yeah, not for the Bayern job. So, for Bayern, I think they are still top of the table, and they are yet to lose after 19 games. They've scored 72 goals this season, and they've conceded 16. A few weeks ago, I saw a stat that said that Bayern have actually scored more goals. The goals they scored in the previous 2 seasons under the current manager and Vincent Kompany. And as we speak, they are losing 2-1 to Osberg. Question, just quick thoughts on what Kompany is doing with Bayern Munich. I think with the league title, they'll still win it. Because Dortmund, who are second, 39 points. Not always serious season in, season out. They start and then they just fall off. Hoffenheim, 36. Leipzig are fourth with 35 points. Just quick thoughts on what Kompany is doing with this Bayern team.
I mean, with Bayern, I'm impressed with how he's been able to achieve stability. Coming into the job, there were lots of things that were said against him about how he had just been relegated with Burnley and he had not really achieved a lot as a manager. Similar comments like the one Jose Mourinho made would have probably made against him, that he probably hasn't achieved a lot.
Yeah.
Beyond getting promoted from the Championship with Burnley to the Premier League, he had not really done a lot. So to come in last season and win the league title, I think that settled the nerves for him. But I'm just disappointed, especially in Leverkusen. Obviously, Dortmund, I think they've made it clear that that's their business model.
Leverkusen are seat now.
Yeah, they bring in the best young prospect and then they sell them on for money. But for Leverkusen, I think they had a championship winning team. They had a team that nearly won an invincible treble. They only lost in the final to Atalanta. That's Ademola Lookman hat-trick. So the fact that they broke down and they dismantled the entire team, sold all their best players, even some of the players who weren't starters and by reserves, they sold all of them off. It weakened the team, and I think as a fact, it weakened the league as a whole. Leipzig themselves, I don't think since the early days under under the former Southampton coach Rafa Hasenhuttl.
Yeah, Rafa Hasenhuttl.
Yeah, I don't think since the days under Rafa.
What is that man again?
Since the Southampton job, he hasn't been able. He lost 9-0 twice, and then everyone said that he wasn't a good coach anymore. That's unfortunately how it works. But ever when he was at Leipzig, he actually had them competing in their first season when they came into the Bundesliga. He actually had them competing for the league title. They actually finished second. But I don't think since their early days they've been able to build a team consistently that's been able to challenge for the league title, which is surprising because they've had really quality players there. They had Szoboszlai there. They've had a lot of good strikers there. Šeško came from Leipzig. They've had good players, but they haven't had them all at the same time. They seem more intent on getting good players and then selling them on for big money, which has affected their title challenge. And Bayern also used to be able to go and pick up the best players from all the other leagues. This transfer window, that didn't really happen. Both of their transfer targets that they really wanted, Kluivert and Voltmada, were picked up by the Premier League. Because Bayern did not want to pay as much money for them as they thought that they should have, because they were their players. But then they had players, clubs in England offering a lot of money for these players. And that seems to be a new business strategy for the Bundesliga clubs.
Yeah.
While at first it was get those players and then Bayern comes and pick them off you. Now it seems like they realize that they can open their market to Premier League clubs who are willing to pay incredible amounts. If you look at the amount, Liverpool paid about 70 million for Ekitike. United paid about 70 million for Šeško. Newcastle also paid about 70-80 million for Voltmada. And with all due respect to all three strikers, none of them were considered world-class strikers before the window began. If I told you that clubs would spend a combined about 200 million on these three strikers, I think you'd have been surprised. But the Bundesliga clubs have realized that because of how their business model works and how they're able to train their teams, theoretically they claim that they provide the best test for Premier League ready players. In a sense that the Bundesliga is quite similar to the Premier League in terms of style of quality, in terms of the pressing available to them. So it looks, and even if you look at the evidence of this season, Šeško he got injured, but even he has 4 goals. Ekitike has done really well for Liverpool, and Voltmada has done really well at Newcastle. So it looks like they have a key that you're able to transplant these players from the Bundesliga to the Premier League. You can have good success. Only problem is the fees that they are charging for them, which I still think are quite high. But if they're able to get clubs in the Premier League who now think that rather than getting Premier League ready players, these are players who are playing in a similar league in similar conditions, who can come and have a positive impact on our team, they are willing to spend that money on these players. And it means that the Bundesliga teams, apart from Bayern, they're comfortable with losing their best players season after season. And that means that obviously it will affect your ability to challenge. There's not always going to be as extreme as Leverkusen did with almost retooling their whole squad. And I think their recruitment has gone quite well because they're still doing okay in the Champions League, and like I said, they're sitting on the table. But they were a team that was ready to compete for titles, and by breaking them apart and not building on them, it means that Bayern are the only team that year after year are consistently getting stronger. Yeah, so in terms of company, he'll definitely walk the league, but his test will come in the Champions League.
Okay. So that's the word on Vincent Kompany. These days managing Bayern Munich. Let's hear from you. 054996 996 054996 996. That's the WhatsApp line. 053996 996. Say your thoughts and let's get talking. Later at 4:30, we'll activate the phone lines on 054996 996. You can wait till 4:30. Then then you call us and then let's get talking. Abraham says, I've tripled Captain Haaland against Wolves, and then he's on the bench. Plans ni na shegu. One Danny from Zibila says, I have an unpopular opinion. Real Madrid will win the Champions League this season. The team will pick the pieces up at the most vital points of the season. The only team Real Madrid will suffer to beat is Arsenal. But Mikel Arteta and his boys will be eliminated by another English team, most likely Chelsea. Market. Arsenal will meet an English team in the knockout stage, most likely the quarterfinal stage. I've not heard from Coach Christopher Nimley. My regards to him. All right. So you take that as you can send your thoughts 054996 996 054996 996. This is the Republic of Football on 97.3. We're live on YouTube, City Sports Ghana. And then on X, you can find us at City Sports JJ. I'm Gabi of in studio with Yaya Jeminsa and Kopna. Nope, not Kopna. Kwache Manol Angelo. City, as we speak, I still have a 2-goal lead against Wolves.
I think he could have gone behind.
That pass was over his, right?
Over his. I think he should have gone a little behind the defender rather than around him.
Oh, Mama,
I think that would have just set Semenyo up for a tap-in.
Second goal for him in the PL. Semenyo has scored in the Carabao Cup. He scored in the FA Cup. And today he scored his first PL goal for Manchester City. Yeah, for Manchester City. So let's see if he can add a second for City this season. It's been pretty decent so far. Have you been keeping tabs on Maguire? Impressed with what you've seen so far, making his debut today against Wolves?
Yeah, he's looked solid so far. He hasn't been tested that much.
Yeah.
And so, I wouldn't overly praise him for his performance. But he's looked solid. He hasn't been tested, but he's looked solid overall. I mean,
it's Wolves.
It's Wolves. Yeah, I don't think I've been able to count 10 incursions that Wolves have made in the Man City box for him to even be tested or for me to even grade him. But I think he's been able to spray a few passes, long passes and intermediate passes in the throughout the game, and so and he's looked controlled, composed throughout. So it's a solid performance. It's a performance that I'd expect from Maguire against Wolverhampton Wanderers. So I'm not surprised with the kind of performance that he's put up. So we're just waiting to see how we fare in those big games moving forward.
What do you think, or what are you expecting, or what do you think Pep should do with him when Pep gets his main centre backs already all fit? So main centre backs, Josko Vardiol is back,
and Ruben Diaz.
Diaz will be back. Yes. Now Gay is in there. Kuchanov is getting game time now.
Once that happens, I see Pep playing with a back three. But I don't see it, because at the end of the day, looking at how ravaged that central defense unit has been because of injuries, I think he will be a bit cautious in the way he uses all of his central defenders. So in that sense, he will still continue to go with 4 men at the back with 2 central defenders and rotate along, because they are still competing on all 4 fronts. And you look at the performance of Nico O'Reilly, he's been solid. And if you play, let's say, a back 3, and are you going to play Nico O'Reilly as a wing back? And if you play him as a wing back, then what becomes of Antoine Semenyo? What becomes of Jeremy Doku? Then it means that you are not utilizing your squad particularly well. It's not just one decision. Because it has cascading effects. So if you play with a back 3,
it will sprinkle on the other departments.
It's best. It's brilliant to have Maguire, Josko Vardiol, and Ruben Diaz in a 3-man back line. It's brilliant. It's super brilliant. But at the end of the day, if you use such a back unit, then it means that are you still going to be comfortable playing Matheus Nunes as a right wing back?
Yeah.
Okay, if you play him as a right wing back, same as Nico O'Reilly as a right wing back, how are you going to compose that middle? He gets it.
Yeah.
So it becomes a bit fractured in there and not too a bit clumsy. And you don't end up utilizing or maximizing the full strength and depth and quality of your team. So I think a back four will suffice. Then you rotate the central defenders, and in that way you also protect them from getting further injuries.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's the best way to use them. Without hurting someone like Maguire's chances of
playing,
making it to the England national team.
Okay. Actually, what are your thoughts about that, though?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that Pep...
But I think going forward, City should fix that right-back position.
I mean, that since Guardiola has been at City, his first season was when he got Mendy and Walker. But since then, he's been very insistent on using fullbacks. He's even tried Fabian Delph earlier. Zinchenko was a midfielder initially in the academy before he moved him back into fullback. Now he seems to like Rico Lewis, how do you call it? Nunes and Nico O'Reilly, which is surprising because there was even a time where he got Gomez and Angelino. Angelino was from Leipzig, and I don't remember where he got Gomez from, but he had actual proper fullback. He had Ryan Ainoue on the bench, who is an actual fullback. You get me? But he seems very when he thinks that his team he assumes his team will have possession a lot of the time. So when they have possession, he thinks that in transition it's much better, and it's like he can take the defensive risk of not having actual defenders there for the advantage of ball playing ability when they're on the ball. And you see that with Matheus Nunes. I think the best fullback he had that exemplified that game plan was probably João Cancelo at his peak, because he was a fullback but he could drift into midfield and offer something else for them. With the O'Reilly and Nunes, I'm just impressed with how well they've adapted, because these are midfielders who would not have been pleased. I don't think many managers other than maybe Guardiola, Enrique, certain managers would be able to convince you to almost forfeit a position you've been playing your entire career before you made it to top professional level. You've been playing this position, and now to have to suddenly adjust that just to fit within the team, I think that's struggling. But again, because of how much they have the ball and how much they're able to drift inside sometimes, it means that it's only defensively in the big games that it looks like a problem. And I don't know if maybe a strategy you can adopt to that. Maybe you can in the big games, that's when sometimes you notice that rather than going for midfielders, that's when he now goes for defenders. So instead of playing Guardiola as a centre back, you play him as a fullback and then have him defend. So it's just, I think he just uses that position to strategize depending on what he can do. For Gay here, I think it makes sense. Guardiola is one of the managers who is able to use multiple players in a season. Even when players like Mahrez were there, David Silva, or even De Bruyne, there was sometimes where it would seem like it would be a struggle.
Raheem Sterling.
Look at how would they get minutes. Even Aguero and Jesus when the same team, he finds a way to, and that's to his credit, because he almost approaches every game tactically and sees who can I use best for this game. And there'll be games where Gehi will probably be the better option, maybe because of ball playing ability. Maybe there'll be games where he'd rather use Khrushchev, and maybe I don't know how much Aleman will play. I think he was an emergency option, and based on his performances, Gehi realized that they actually had to go in and get Gehi. So I think he's the person who will probably be most affected by Gehi's arrival. But I think that there'll be enough times where they'll be able to be rotated enough and he'll probably like to try different pairings, different centre back pairings, to give him different options and see how they look. So I think that even if he plays in a fullback, his position can within the team of at least getting game time in both the Champions League and the Premier League, and like Gal said, in all these different competitions is guaranteed. He will definitely get enough minutes to play.
Okay, so let's see what Pep will do. City are 66 minutes played at the Etihad Stadium. It's City 2, Wolves 0. Semenyo on the score sheets, just in case you missed out earlier. Also at the Turf Moor, Burnley 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Kwasi, your striker.
Your striker. You sold the striker to a team for 20 million.
Charlie, but the bro guy, he no good like that.
honestly, sometimes I think just get better scouts. Go to.
And that's why I have an issue with the scouts. I think sometimes they are overly harsh and overly critical and overly scrutinize African players. I honestly believe
because you're looking at bro and you ask yourself a lot of questions.
So many players out there.
Everton spent 25 million on Beto. Sometimes
Beto is Portuguese, but he just decided because he wasn't getting a chance in Portugal. That's why he decided to play for Guinea-Bissau. He's Portuguese. Yeah, you get it. He grew up in the Portuguese system.
Yeah.
It was because he didn't get game time that he decided
so you mean like players who are local to the continent? Like there's a lot of
there are lots of very good players.
And it's not like he would even get any
someone like that could.
Yeah.
Oh, Albert Samuel will do a better job than
this is our guy, Rudolph.
Rudolph
Mensah, All Blacks. Look at his movement on and off the ball.
I've watched him. This guy.
Charlie.
He's just true. Like...
Look, it's true that the Ghana Premier League is ranked 100th in the world. But the fact that it's ranked 100th in the world doesn't mean that all the players in the league are trash.
Mm-hmm.
What basically it means is that our teams aren't able to do well when it comes to international competitions.
Yeah.
Because if you look at that IFFHS rankings, the Brazilian league finished third. The Brazilian league was ranked third. It was ranked third. And guess what? It's because it came on the back of Brazilian teams, 2 Brazilian teams making it to the quarterfinals of the FIFA Club World Cup. Brazilian teams have dominated the Copa Libertadores, Copa Sudamericana.
4 years in a row.
Yes, Copa Sudamericana, which is the South America version of CAF Confederation Cup.
Yeah.
The Copa Libertadores, which is the South America version of CAF Champions League. They've been consistent. You have as many as 3 Brazilian teams making it to the quarterfinal, 2 Brazilian teams making it to the final, 2 Brazilian teams making it to the semi-finals. So they are doing well, and it has translated into the rankings. You look at Ghana, for instance. Last year, the rankings, these same rankings, the Ghana League was ranked 92nd in the world.
Yeah.
After 2025, that was 2024 rankings. After 2025 rankings, the Ghana Premier League has slipped to 100th in the world. Because guess what? What was the performance of our teams when they went to Africa?
It wasn't nothing. It wasn't good enough.
They didn't even make it past the
they all did in the group stage. Mediaman, it was Mediaman.
I mean,
Samatex.
Yes,
they all exited. Then the Kotoko 1-2 came in later. You get it?
Yeah.
So it all plays a role. And guess why a lot of Brazilian players are quite expensive? All of these things play a role. Because if you are buying a player from the 3rd best league in the world, obviously it will cost more, or he will cost more, because if the player is good enough in the league, a league that is ranked 3rd in the world, you have to pay quite a pricey amount to get him. But if the league is ranked 100th in the world, obviously it won't be it won't be that pricey, and you can have a positive spin about it. What that means is, okay, yes, you can easily buy those players, like we've been hearing the amount, $150,000, $100,000 and all. But at the end of the day, the quality is there. It's just because there's corruption, crowd violence, officiating biases.
Two seasons in a row, teams threatened to pull out of
recently, Young Apostles.
Yeah,
you get it. So all of these things affect the quality of the league and how it is viewed and ranked. But the quality itself, the raw talent in itself, is there.
Okay,
and we see it. See it, and so sometimes I look at these players. And so these players competing in some of the best leagues in the world, and I look at the overall talent that they have.
Yeah, you say if you have to swap places and then have Rudolph Mensah playing for.
Oh, and that's the thing we are not including. Like, these players will get better with some of the players that they are playing with. If you go from playing in the Ghana Premier League to playing with in the Premier League, you definitely be given more chances. Obviously, it's a harder league, better defenders.
We can talk about Fatah Isaku. when he was with Dreams,
Steadfast,
and he was very when you
erratic.
I'll tell you that he passes the eye test, but he's very raw. Very erratic. He's very rough. He's very like
poor decisions. Every ball he gets, he wants to shoot.
He wants to shoot balloons and all of that. But with time, you can. So from Sporting now Leicester City, you can actually see that he's getting more polished. He gets into the box and he's now more composed. He will think about the decision he would make.
And guess what? The Sporting Lisbon that he got to, he didn't just go to the first team. He went to Sporting Lisbon B.
Yeah.
Initially, then they groomed him. Then he got the chances to play for Sporting
the
Team A.
Team,
I think there was a time he even played in their Champions League games, a couple of games in there.
Yeah.
And he was even playing as a wing back.
Yeah.
He was even playing as a wing back. Then he got the chance to move to Leicester City on loan. Then, and that was all she wrote. So sometimes I think that these scouts, African players, they don't cost much.
Yeah, they should come to the Ghana.
They should be coming to Africa and stop overly scrutinizing the players. And guess what? I honestly believe, I have a hunch that they do so because they don't get enough available stats on African players.
That's true.
Because there aren't enough statistical instruments to measure a player's performance and output when it comes to these leagues in Ghana, Nigeria, and co.
Would ask a scout about this.
Yes.
I'm sure they'll speak about it.
It plays a role because I don't get.
I'm sure it's very difficult.
Look at this chance that he made.
It's very difficult to.
In the US, they have your
because
touch
now
map, your heat map.
Now
Ghana Premier League heat map for a player.
When will be that? Albert Thomas is back to Kotoko. Before he left to Al Ahly Benghazi, he was Kotoko's top scorer and best player in 10 games before he left to Al Ahly Benghazi. But go and look for the heat map and start and see if you see. Because Charlie,
distance covered.
You see, to the extent that
I think
a lot of people actually clamored for. If he's able to continue,
I mean, when you spoke with
distance map,
no, when you were speaking, when you were speaking with the Vision FC head coach, he mentioned that these players have these GPS monitors.
Oh yeah, no, you know,
for vision,
we are talking about for the league
that
itself.
Is for vision, for their training purposes.
Oh,
when they are playing,
Kotoko did the same thing. They brought this. I can't mention it because it would be They brought this technology
tracking
that was
and
But for the league itself, we don't have. Anyway, let's take our second break. When we come back, phone lines activated and then we'll get talking. You're still watching or listening to the Republic of Football on 97.3, live on TV, Channel 1 TV, live on YouTube, City Sports Ghana, live on X, and City FM. I'm Gabby Ofer. We're taking a quick break. We'll be back to talk more.
This week on the Upside Down Show, Frima Edunyame sits with the bold and outspoken Dr. Stephen Amwa, MP for Inshayeso.
But Honorable, how do you deal with controversies? Because every now and then, sticker is, permit me, impotent because even on a campaign trail, we brought him one of the loyal ladies, but he couldn't do anything with the person.
Whether I'm impotent or not impotent, it doesn't mean anything.
But are you?
Of course not.
Okay.
God loves me.
If it doesn't go the Kennedy way, who among the five would you want to see become the flag bearer?
Anybody that can let me know that would give MPP the highest chance of winning 2020.
Feel the rhythm as Carlo Yaboy delivers a soul-stirring performance.
I don't feel like you don't see I try, but I don't know what to do. Anytime you call me, I know I slide. I keep spending my life on you. You say get too much about my pride. You don't know how for what I do. You say get too much about mine.
And watch creativity come alive with Audrey Bruce Vanderpoy.
I don't know be there. No.
Don't miss the Upside Down Show this Sunday at 7 p.m. prompt only on Channel 1 TV.
Abstain. Why abstain? I have been seeing through your shenanigans all night.
I thought I told you that I didn't want to see that girl in this house again.
A mixed bag of emotions and incidents,
Ghanaian family and intergenerational drama.
some not so good.
That boy, that womanizer.
You are old enough. I would like you to man up.
In other cases, not so bad.
So does he see in her that he's not seeing in me? Look at me.
Eugene and Anekia made a choice.
You won't believe what Pam and Anekia have done to me.
Watch out for So So, a brand new series from GH Media Productions. So So, Thursday at 7:30 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
Habibi, my people, welcome to Dubai. My name is Sheikh Alkal bin Maktoum. Okay, so I am Caleb, right? Caleb Kuda is my name, and this is Beyond Borders on Channel 1 Television. We are in Dubai. So join me. Let us explore the allure, the beauty, and the reality of life and living it in Dubai through the eyes and the experiences of our compatriots.
Imagine 6 people, 10 people sharing a common room together.
If you're not chinampe, na complain there in the sense, why do you share one rooms now? It doesn't smell pleasant. Or haunting no complaints now be bring to the fair and
Dubai is one of the most organized, highly resourced, and well-endowed countries you would find.
You've been here for 7 months.
Yes.
Without a job.
Yeah.
How is it like?
So hard.
Tell me about it.
Struggling, renting and feeding is so hard.
Every frame per second of their lives in Dubai tells a story, and we've got it all captured right here on Beyond Borders, only on Channel 1 Television. So don't get told, don't miss out. Catch these compelling stories of Ghanaians in Dubai only on Beyond Borders on Channel 1 TV.
Beyond Borders airs every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV and is brought to you by Copen Hospitality.
Welcome to The Point of View. This is your favorite current affairs show here on Channel 1 Television. On The Point of View, we pick the right topics, get the right guests, and ask them relevant questions on issues that matter to you.
With the complexities of the issues happening around us on a daily basis, it's the hard-hitting conversations and the probing questions of The Point of View.
So what is the Public Account Committee's job?
So what we do is to scrutinize, clarify, and find out why certain infractions have been made.
What do these IMF programs try to do?
The current program is for budget support.
Okay.
There are no projects attached.
That teases apart the twisted entanglements of politics and governance, as well as religious and social discourse. The Point of View brings you the policymakers and duty bearers and drills down to the very bottom of issue.
What authority do you have?
The Point of View airs every Monday and Wednesday at 9 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
Welcome to the Health Quarters Ghana, where medical science meets everyday life. Join Dr. Gideon Assan and the irrepressible Clemento Suarez as they tackle health issues.
My name is Dr. Gideon Assan. I have with me here my co-host, Clemento Suarez.
I knew how it felt anytime I started to feel the pain.
Whether it is hernia, breast cancer, cataract, or infertility, the show brings together victims to share their real life stories and experts to debunk myths.
If you wear cotton supporter, and there be a pampers and a benwa or bosom. So you see, instead of it being raw egg, I done it because you already know.
Make a date with us every Sunday at 4 p.m. on Channel 1 TV. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and all social media platforms at Health Quarters Ghana.
See, the way I've been suffering here, finally God has listened to my prayers. Let me tell you something. This interview I come to do, if you not get me man, Ayuba already there. At the Vipers Ayuba, I want a nice looking lady. Nice one like that.
Get ready for all the shenanigans, the gossip, the gisting, and the jiving. The typical happenings at a Ghanaian pub, aka Sports.
Now listen, everything was sauce. Charlie, this one no suspicion. Stop! Can I see the girl she gets you? Hey! That just now after they bring the two. Some scene will happen for the counter back there, man.
No, I'm here with these guys trying to prepare a surprise proposal party for you. And you are here chilling with this guy.
Don't miss this fun and engaging TV series, Junction 5, on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
Hundreds of entries have poured in from communities all across the country, and the energy is off the charts. The quest to uncover the most deserving stories has kicked into high gear. Stay tuned for the thrilling reveal and the grand celebration of our esteemed 10 Channel 1 TV community legends. Only on Channel 1 TV.
Let's get talking. Let's talk about Antoine Semenyo's start to life at Manchester City. Impressed so far. If you're an Arsenal fan, Chelsea fan, call us. Arsenal United later tomorrow. That's a big game. Chelsea will be taking on Crystal Palace. So his part. City, as we speak, are beating Wolves by 2-0. And then at a tough more, it's Burnley 2, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Thomas Frank. Sure they'll sack him before February. Alright, I think we have our first caller. Hi, and where are you calling us from?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, how are you doing?
I'm good.
What's your name, please?
I'm Kobe calling from Teshinongwa.
Kobe, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I want to talk about you. Yesterday, I listened to the sports panel and I didn't hear Benjamin Nketiah. Why?
He's around.
He's around.
Yeah, he's around, yeah.
Okay. And I want to extend my greetings to him and
Sure.
Coach Nimley wherever he is. This guy, Manuel Kwachi, he sounds so much like, anytime I listen to him on the radio, he sounds so much like Manifest. And I want to also
sounds like Manifest?
Manuel Kwachi.
He sounds like Manifest. You mean M.
It sounds so much like Manifest. Anytime I'm listening to him, it
I
sounds
see.
so much.
So you like
But
it, eh?
going forward, I just admire the depth of knowledge, especially here in Yao, the Yao God. And I want to talk about the Ghana Premier League. You guys were talking about the Ghana Premier League being 100th in the world and all that. And listening to you guys talk about that, I wasn't even shocked. Ever since this current GFA officials took over governance of football in this country, things have gone from bad to worse. With a streak of bad decisions they've been taking over this past few years. Ghana Black Stars have been in 3 consecutive tournaments, and we've been beaten throughout. We've left at the group stage. We couldn't even qualify out of the group stage for 2 of the two consecutive AFCON tournaments we've been in. We've not even won a single game. This is sad. I remember before 2019 when this GFA officials took over, when people took over, Cars and Kotokomach could even fill the stadium. Today, people don't even go and watch Hearts and Kotokomach. It's that much sad. 2 of your biggest clubs playing in a match. People don't even go and watch them. I remember Dreams FC and RTU played some match a few years back. And the RTU players were imposters. They were not even the real players. And this impersonation, this criminal, and nothing happened. I always say it's just clear this current GFA officials. And can you imagine Black Stars, one of the best African teams in the continent? Last time I was in the diaspora, I just wore a Black Stars jersey, and people just see when they talk about Samoa Jan, Mike Leeson, and the rest. It's one of the biggest teams on the continent. Can you imagine? And we go for a rookie as the head coach. That alone tells the level of competence of those handling our national team and our football in this country. It's sad. Not just that. Not that we are bad players or we are bad or something. just because those in the governance of football in this country are just taking one bad decision from one bad decision to another bad decision, and things are going from bad to worse. And it doesn't even rustle any further. It doesn't prick them that things are going bad, and they should sit up and do things better. And they are cool with it. Bunch of shameless, incompetent people. Incompetent people who have no shame. They don't even care. Things are going from bad to worse, and they go out there and they talk chest out.
Okay,
Corey. They don't mind. I'm not done, please. Just a few minutes, and I want to just clear to all and sundry that this current food GFA officials, Charlie, they are clueless. And if the government should sit up and make sure things are done and done properly, we are just a few months to the World Cup, and you don't even see any proper preparations going on. By this time, at least, we would have seen a serious shake-up with our technical team. We would have seen some serious scouting going on there with people, the scouts going out there and scouting for the best of Ghanaian talents and drafting them into the national team to make the team even stronger going to the World Cup. Nothing is going on. Please, I'm telling the government, the sports minister...
Kobe, you would have to make it snappy here because we have some other callers on the line too.
If they are listening to me, please, they should intervene. Else, this World Cup we are about to go in a few months to come, please. It will be a disaster if they don't step in and they leave things to this bunch of empty heads who call themselves football people. They are going to just mess things up. And that's what I have to say. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Kobe. 053996 054996 Call us, let's get talking. We're talking Antoine Semenyo's performance at City. Arsenal are in action later tomorrow against Manchester United at Emirates. And then Spurs are losing to Burnley. I'm Gabi of 97.3. The Republic of Football is live on 97.3 and also live on Channel 1 TV and on X City FM. You want to say something?
Yeah, there's a famous joke going around that's like Dr. Tottenham. If you are in need of a win, just see Dr. Tottenham and you can get a win. And I think it's untenable now for Thomas Frank, if I'm being very honest.
And I'm saying that he'll be sacked before February.
Oh, I mean...
Oh, you don't think so?
Well, I thought he was gone last week, to be honest. When they lost last week to West Ham, I was surprised that he made it through the weekend to Monday. I mean, I just think his expectations that people have at the start of the season. To be honest, I like I keep saying, Ange Postecoglou was sacked for less, and he actually won a trophy. So, if they have any ambitions for the season, I'd be very surprised if they want to maintain the team the way it is, and the form that they have has not been encouraging. But just as I say that, Tottenham have equalized. Christian Romero.
Okay. So then he says
clutch big time for them in recent games.
Thomas Frank saves his job for another week then, so he won't be sacked. He'll be sacked mid-February.
I think he will last till the end of the season. I think he will last till the end of the season.
What the results keep...
I mean, but last week he equalized, but they ended up losing still. So, I mean, this is much, much later, though. This is around the 90th minute, so this is more likely to hold. But...
Well, let's see. Call us, let's get talking. 053996 996 054996 996. So there's a message here. He says, give Kobe 2 more minutes. Why? He's speaking for all Ghanaians. Kid Black from Spentex. Kobe they spit fire too much. Do I call that Daniels? Okay. 053996 996 054996 996. Some few minutes to wrap up, and then the show will be back later tomorrow 2 to 5, so do join us for that.
But how is securing a draw against Burnley salvaging your job? Isn't that
that's what I'm saying.
Just an indication of how desperately low your standards are?
Because as long as he doesn't lose any more games, it keeps him safe till the end of the season. I see him getting sacked at the end of the season unless they win the Champions League.
So that's 2 wins in 14 Premier League games.
And then they've repeated the whole shenanigans of last season. Somebody who wins the Champions League, sack him. Okay. Hi, your name, where are you calling us from?
Unless
I'm Mark calling from Okansi.
Mark, talk to me. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, yesterday I listened to Sports Panama, it seems one of your panelists were saying that I've forgotten the person who was saying Arsenal. I'm actually an Arsenal fan, and let me tell you something. Arsenal is not going to bottle this league this season. Trust me, I'm telling you for a fact. Because the depth.
What did you say the person's name is? Who you said? Who said what?
One of your panelists were saying that.
No, but yesterday we didn't mention that Arsenal would bottle any league. We only did a preview today.
When you were asking for the predictions for the matches.
Mm-hmm. And the person said that.
I think this guy, the soft-spoken guy.
Soft-spoken. My guys are all soft-spoken.
Is that Bernard or something?
Bernard didn't have a take on the Arsenal conversation yesterday.
They mentioned some of the guys. So I'll write it.
Bro, you proceed. Just proceed, okay?
Okay. What I'm saying is, you see, because United have won one single match performance, so he thinks so. The Arsenal midfield, he is telling us that the midfield of my United is stronger than Arsenal this season. This is what he meant to say. Trust me, I'm telling him that Arsenal is going to win convincingly. And when Arsenal wins, I will call you back, Gabby, and tell you that I was the one who called.
Okay.
You shouldn't take Arsenal for granted. This season, Arsenal is on front four of what the trophies available, and we are, and still people are doubting the credentials of Arsenal. Trust me, we are going to make a history of winning quadruple. Thank you, bro.
Okay. Thank you, Suai. Quadruple. If you here with this, we there. If it backfires, you would have to call and explain yourself again. 053996 054996 Call us, let's get talking. I'm Gabriel Fair. We're taking your thoughts now. Arsenal taking on United later tomorrow. Talk to us about Antoine Semenyo. Are you impressed with the way he started so far at City under Pep? Hi, and where are you calling us from? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, kindly turn down the volume of your radio set for me, okay, and talk to me, please.
Oh, this is Kid Black from Citex.
Oh, okay. Please speak.
Yeah. So I just want to have a few take on the Arsenal game tomorrow. I feel like Arsenal this season know that it's a must win for them. They realize that this season is going to be the season where they prove the haters wrong. So against United, they really need to turn up, and I'm pretty convinced that Arsenal are going to win and get the maximum through the 3 points tomorrow. And for Kobe, please, you should give him 2 more minutes. He is really speaking facts. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. 053996 054996 Call us, let's get talking. City with still a 2-goal lead against Wolves. Then it's Burnley 2, Spurs 2. Burnley 2, Spurs 2. Let me quickly run you through the other results whilst you await your call. Fulham have beaten Brighton by 2-1 in that game at the Craven Cottage. Hi, anyone are you calling us from?
This is David from my man here. I called last week. I think I asked for the song that you were playing for the Cannes 2025. And you said you send it to me, or maybe you mentioned it.
You mean the Inside AFCON show?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And then regarding tomorrow's match, I just hope United will, make us happy. That's what I'm praying for. They shouldn't disappoint us. It shouldn't just be one game surprise. I don't want that to happen. I'm just praying.
All right. Thank you. So the title is One Africa. Okay.
One Africa.
By Moja Indonto.
Moja Indonto.
Yes, please. Thank you. 053996 054996 Call us, let's get talking. Find out 2 callers and then it's a wrap. I'm Gabriel Fair here with Monokwachi and Yao J Minta. Hi, and where are you calling us from?
Hello, please. My name is Joseph. I'm calling from Amasamai.
Okay, Joseph, talk to me. What do you want to talk about?
Please, I wanted to ask a favor. Do you guys know anything about block spaces that I can work on?
What did you say? Please say that again.
Do you guys know any online blog space can work on?
This is a sports show, so I am really confused as to what you're asking, brother.
Yes, I know, but I am in the university and I wanted
Okay, so you call us after the show and let's talk, okay?
Okay.
All right, bless you. 0549969996 0539969996. So the game at the Tiara saying there is Manchester City 2, Wolves 0 in the PL. For the German League, let me just quickly run you through the results. Bayer Leverkusen, they beat Werder Bremen by 1-0. Bayern Munich, first loss under Vincent Kompany this season. Finally, they lost to Osberg by 2-1. And then, yeah, you want to?
Yeah, that's a shame.
Just hold on for me. Let's pick up. Talk to me. Your name? Where are you calling us from? Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, your name, please. Why are you calling us from?
My name is Danny. I'm calling from Adentani, Legon.
Danny, what do you want to talk about?
You should have allowed Kobe to talk for us.
Oh, Kobe did though. He did talk.
Oh, but you see, I have just one question for our people in football.
Mm-hmm.
When they leave the house in the morning and they tell their family they are going to work, do they actually work?
Yes, they do.
Because the state of football in this country is nothing to write home about. And it's painful though. Like you leave the house that I'm going to work. And if your work is producing what we are seeing, then we have a long way to go, because the people running things in this country, it's a shame. It's a shame. And see, when AFCON was going on, it wasn't that as the tournament progressed, that's when we began to even hear something about it, that hey, there's something going on. Because Ghana, there's AFCON and we are not part. And see, I feel sorry. See, I don't know what we are going to do. I think last year there was a demo that was supposed to go on, like Save Football or something. I think we need to start again, because other than that, see, we'll be talking about EPL, talking about other things. Yeah, we enjoy hearing it, but in years to come, what will we who are here, what will we tell our children? That we just watch everything just go down. It's a shame. It's a shame. This is just what I have to say. It's a shame, and we need to do something about it really quick. Other than that, spending millions of dollars, and do they sleep? Like when they go home, do they sleep? Are they happy with what they are doing? Please let me leave it here before I say something.
Okay, thank you so much for calling. That's it with our callers. We'll continue later tomorrow, okay? Thank you so much for joining us today. Yeah, you wanted to react to
the
company
quick one
loss.
on the Vincent Kompany thing. I think
so. First loss after what 18 games.
Yeah, so first loss, and he hasn't managed to get that record that Bayern Munich want, but a club like Bayer Leverkusen has been able to achieve under Xabi Alonso.
Yeah.
A club like Juventus achieved under Antonio Conte.
Mm-hmm.
That is to go an entire season unbeaten
yeah.
in the league. For a club like Bayern Munich, they should have been able to have achieved this kind of record a long time ago, because with the kind of dominance that they have in the German Bundesliga, it's a big shock that they haven't still been able to achieve that record. And it looks like it has been extended for another year.
Mm-hmm.
And so these are the kind of markers that will be used against Vincent Kompany if he does not win the Champions League, because Xabi Alonso is available.
Yeah,
they are looking at him. Bayern Munich are also looking at him.
I see,
as a possible replacement. So it's quite disappointing that he couldn't get his team to go the entire season unbeaten in the league, because the German league, they'll win it.
Yeah, they'll win it.
If you add to the point that they played less games, they actually played 34 league games. It's surprising that they haven't been able to do that. First defeat for him. It's been a good season so far. I think,
but the points gap is still huge. 50 points, 39. Dortmund 39. Bayern
39. That's
11 points.
And I don't even think Dortmund are the best in terms of contenders. I don't think Dortmund are the second best team. So yeah, just disappointing. But so I think they'll still win the league. They just need to bounce back in the same way they did when they lost against Arsenal in the Champions League, and just come back strong.
Okay. Thank you so much, Yao Jeminta and then Manuel Angelo Kwache for joining us today. We're back same time tomorrow, 2 to 5 p.m. The Republic of Football is live on 97.3 and also live on Channel 1 TV, and then on YouTube you can find us at City Sports Ghana and on X at City FM. Big thanks to our guys on YouTube for texting in: Joshua Labi, Sweet Kwame, Talk Sports GH, let me see, yep, Patrick Lawete and all of that. I can't mention all of you guys in here. Yeah, I'm Gabby Ofe. Enjoy the rest of your programs on 97.3. Do take care and bye-bye.
Befi. Nti efi museum ha mpacho ye coin.
Ziom. Efi eni fie. Ye boss e krom e so ye de o se krom ye. Na nanu manim ne ya ba no. Nti si ya ba na si ya behu amamre ne yesu amamre kakra. Na yaka ya santo amhonsem. We are currently here at the Armed Forces Military Museum, and we've learned so much about the British, about our king, Prempe, and going to the Seychelles. We've learned so much about Yasantua. Yeria eno was here sound kwai. Enti free ha ye call ice cafe. Almost e kroma bra wuni fufu. When your powder fufu. Team. Banchane body a yaka. Oho. Wait sa waka na obedi so be mo obi agina so a ye kwa sound kwai. Aponche. Dwanam nentwinama nentwmakoko akoko. Adwene kakra ko obi kakra nwa kakra koto kakra mre kakra. Aha, so once we leave here, we are moving to Ice Cafe, and we're going to have a nice time. We're going to have a choba experience, just to know that we are in the home of authentic fufu, indigenous fufu. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Prima. From the Ashanti region, though, where are we going?
So from the Ashanti region, we are moving to the Western region. The West says that at the Papa Wufia Oye. So we are going to Western region, where we are going to have our nightclub session, Kakra, Disco Kakra, Island Feel Kakra. And then the final day, that is the Saturday night, we have our dinner dance. We'll be celebrating all those who were born in the month of March, people who are having their various anniversaries. And so that is a proper gown and tuxedo affair. So we're not going to do the jeans anymore. I think we've done enough of jeans and trainers. Let's now come all glammed up and just also put a spice on it. And then the next day we'll be heading back home. I know. But whatever has a beginning surely has an end.
Send us into your mind.